will kill every man on this plate.
What's going on, ladies? Ladies and gentlemen, how's everyone doing? Great to see all of you beautiful people in here this evening. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody. How about that? Welcome everybody. Hope you guys caught that little glimpse into what these incredible men experienced that were on this plane that just would not stand for injustice. And we're going to review that together. And we're going to ask the question, what would you do? What would you do? WWYD. But before we do that, before you answer this question, let's go ahead and greet all the channel members. First, we must say that Toy Town Inc. was first this evening. So congratulations, Toy Town Inc. You, sir, are due at least 2 thumbs up and a high five. Congrats, man. So everyone, honor Toy Town Inc. for taking the time to take heed to the notification that came in and just jump right in here and be first. And you could see that Toy Town Inc. was first with a, prophetic comment here. Yo. And then Slim223 was second. And he then said, yo. And then because I was so empowered by the words that these gentlemen were using, I came in and said, yo. So here we go. Let's go ahead and say what's up to the channel members. Toy Town Inc. was actually first, like I said, and he's also a channel member, of course. We got Mike McClune. What's up, brother? Another channel member. We got, let's see, Mike McClune, Fluffy Bunny Arsenal, another channel member. Jason Ewing became a channel member again. So I think it may have lapsed. So he renewed. So thank you. I appreciate you. You're a good man. You're a good man. You're a good man. Safe Flying Live. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Another channel member. What plane? F a plane. Unless I got a parachute. It's crazy. They don't have incorporated into this. Yeah, I know, right? Like you would think, like if they really cared, but we know they don't care. So welcome to reality. Let's see, for the channel members, we got Fluffy Bunny, we got Toy Town Inc., we got Mike McClune, we got Safe Line Live, we got Fluffy, we got Rip Dango. What's up, partner? Good to see you, another channel member. Shana member. Get what I'm saying? I know, it's creative. See, when I see people talking to Rip Dango, I'm like, who died? Because it's like RIP, and I'm like, oh, snap, Joe Rogan? I know, it's crazy. Let's see, Jason, Fluffy, Toy Town, Fluffy Bunny, Mike McClune, ADXR920. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Another channel member. And I was actually this close to picking up a Shadow Systems, one of the R920s. I don't remember, but I mean, they're so dope, man. They are excellent handguns. So yeah, I'm in love. Let's see. ADXR920, Rip Dingo, Fire Rider. What's up, brother? Fire Rider, another channel member. Jason, Shana, Toy Town. Hey, Tech Money, salute. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We got Taco Syndicate, man. I wish, see, every Tuesday when I see you, I remember Taco Tuesday, but it's Thursday. So let's see who else we got. C&T, which every time I see him in chat, I type in SEA and TEA because I find it funny. So I'd like to get that going. I'd like that to be like a, like a thing. Bugaloo, what's up, brother? I mean, one of the most creative names ever. Martin Kaminsky, what's up, fam? Another channel member. Let's see, Jason, Shana member. Existence Mundane, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Fire Rider, Tech Money, all you guys. Love all y'all. Let's see. We got the honorable mentions. We got Freakistang. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Can't go wrong with Shadow Systems. This is like the Shadow Systems guy, okay? Like Shadow Systems. He's Shadow Systems out. Shadow Systems out. Shadow Systemed out. Yeah, that's how you say it. So Freakistang, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Part of the Marine Gun Builder community, OGs, right? Double X, what's up, fam? Good to see you. Too Many Choices. No, Too Many Choices is no longer a channel member. and it must have expired. Because what happens is so many people come in and they're so gracious and so giving that they give channel memberships away to other people, and then they become channel members, and then all that stuff. So that happens. And but I appreciate all you guys either way, channel member or not. Aaron, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining us. Thank you. We're gonna have some interesting conversations this evening. Hey, big fish little boat, what's up, fam? We were gonna go live, the Tactical Turkeys and myself, but I messed up, and I was doing other stuff and I missed their call. So that's my bad. I'm sorry. We were all supposed to go live together and simulcast, I guess, and I dropped the ball there. So that's my bad. My bad, y'all. Let's see who else. Did I miss any honorable mentions? Let's see. Jason Ewing, but he became. Hey, Dangle Matt, what's up, brother? Greetings, Glowies. Slim223, my man with the plan, my fam. Let's see, but I'm appreciative anytime I'm gifted and know that it helps DLD. Hell yeah, appreciate you, man. Double win. My brother, Mike McLuhan, it expired. Wah! No, I appreciate you, man. I just appreciate y'all being here, bro. That's it, man. Don't forget thumbs up. Hell yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Haiku, what up? Yeah, so Shadow Systems, I mean that's some fire Glock style handguns right there. So I mean honestly, I have been really tempted to get, what is it, the DRP 920 maybe? I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's essentially it's a 34 size, but it's really just a 17 with a comp. And then the dope thing is that the front sight is fixed on the comp. So, it's a little different, but I love it, man. I think it's fire. And if it wasn't like 10.99, then I may have a little bit less heartburn grabbing that thing. But so yeah, so let's get right into it. So in other news, there was a flight. This flight was going from Boston to LA. So two, glorious freedom-loving places. Okay, look, Boston, anything in Massachusetts, you already know they're not freedom-loving, right? Which is such a shame because, like, God, so much of the founding of what this country is supposed to be are in so many of these places. But I digress. So this flight was going from Boston, Massachusetts to LA. All right, and 45 minutes into the flight, this dude starts acting up. All right, so let's pull this up. This is fair use. They're probably going to give me a little copyright jammy, but let's see. So actually, I got to mute myself to do this so it doesn't echo. So hang on one sec.
I will kill every man on this plate.
So let's stop that for a second. Okay. Paul Revere, what's up, brother? He said, I will kill every man on this plane. Now I'm going to pull up some photos and some video too. I got to be careful with the video because they will hit me. Y'all know NBC doesn't play, right? They'll take everything, right? And then they'll probably block the video, just like when we played that South Park skit. But here's the deal. So there's all these dudes that are in the camera shot, okay? And they're sitting there. One guy specifically is directly in front of this woman that is videoing. I always say videotaping, but I'm old, I guess. So she's recording this incident going down, okay? And this 33-year-old man stands up, and apparently he said that he was Bulbasaur. He was Lord Bulbasaur. I think that's isn't that like a Pokemon, Bulbasaur? Or is it like Dragon Ball Z? I don't know, but whatever it is, dude's a little bit rocky upstairs, okay? So he stands up and he starts saying that it's going to be a bloodbath, okay? And, where is Homeland Security? Because Homeland Security needs to bring their guns and pump him full of bullets. And when they do, when his body receives all these bullets, that he will then cast them back into all the people, and it's going to be a bloodbath. I don't think he's paid attention to, these life instances where you learn something. Okay, when somebody donates half of a magazine into your sternum, you don't get to give them back, right? So that's not really how this works. But I see all these guys that are sitting there with their AirPods in, with their laptop, with their phone, with their devices, and they're literally just sitting there, shook. And the first person to stand up, the first one to stand up is a woman. And she says, "Please stop. You are scaring the children. You are scaring my children." And you know what he says? "I don't care. I don't give up that I'm scaring your children." Straight up says it, right? But a woman stood up for herself and for her family and for her children while all these men are sitting down like cowards, a bunch of soft ass cowards, right? Now, let me back up a little bit here. I want to actually read some of this article, okay? Cell phone video shows a passenger on a United Airlines flight threatening to kill every man on this plane before allegedly attacking a flight attendant with a broken metal spoon. Points for creativity. Okay, I'll give him that. In the footage, Francisco Severo Torres, 33, screams from his seat during a flight from Los Angeles to Los Angeles to Boston, not Boston to Los Angeles. He then stands up, walks toward the crew members, and appears to lunge at a flight attendant. Several passengers rush at him to intervene, the footage shows. Lisa Olson, who filmed the video, told NBC Boston that Torres seemed to be visibly upset. Visibly upset. Dude, he was standing up screaming that he would murder every man on the flight. Like, I would agree that's visibly upset. That would qualify in that category. And threatened that it was going to be a bloodbath. She praised. This is what frustrates me. Okay, she praised fellow passengers for stepping in and holding Torres down with zip ties and belts until the plane landed. Okay, all right. Let's back up a little bit. So this dude stands up and he starts yelling at everyone. First, he's not threatening everyone at first. Apparently, he tried to open an emergency exit mid-flight. Homie tried to open an emergency exit mid-flight. Bro, you are compromising my safety, my family's safety. So just picture yourself for a moment and you're sitting on a plane, okay? And the plane that you're sitting on, all right? I'm going to pull this up for y'all. Hang on. I'll let it run. I know they're going to hit me for it, but you know what? For you guys, I'll do. There's not a lot I wouldn't do.
Incident on board a
Oh,
Boston-bound flight.
I will kill every man on this plane.
So let me skip this so they don't hit me with this garbage. About 40 minutes prior to landing, the flight crew notified an emergency exit door had been disarmed. Door's handle had been moved out of the fully locked position. Danger zone.
Attendant reporting.
Hold on. 33-year-old, so we already read all that stuff.
Whereas allegedly.
Hold on.
Witnesses say that's when he got out of his seat, approached two flight attendants in the aisle, and allegedly attempted to stab one of them in the neck 3 times with a broken metal spoon.
We started hearing his voice get louder and louder. He was clearly agitated.
Passengers on board the plane, seen in this video shared by witness Lisa Olson, tackled and restrained the suspect.
There were probably 4 or 5 men that restrained him on the ground.
Torres later admitting to investigate.
Restrained him on the men that
restrained the suspect.
There were probably 4 or 5 men that
tackled and restrained the suspect.
There were probably
okay. So we got 4 guys and one that was casually walking to this dangerous man. Okay, clearly this dude is off of his rocker, off of his meds, off of his something. All right, and this dude stood up and threatened to kill everyone on the plane. Okay. Now, for me personally, well, I guess let me ask you guys first. What would you guys do? What would like just come into like your gut, like the first response that you would do? This guy stands up and he, tries to open up an emergency exit door on a plane. Let's say you and your family, right? You, your wife, your child, your children, whatever, right? Your brothers and sisters, your dad, who cares? Let's say if you're alone, if I was alone, dead ass solo, okay, I would still operate the same way because I know that there are other people there with their families and all that. No. So here's the thing. So a bunch of dudes grabbed this asshole and did exactly what we would expect. Yes, but this went on for more than 10 minutes of this guy standing up, yelling at people, saying he was going to murder everyone, yelling at you know ladies, yelling at the men, saying he's going to kill all the men, right? And no one did anything until he literally, with a weapon, lunged at a woman. And he apparently did like lightly graze her with the broken spoon shank, but it wasn't until somebody was about to literally die that they intervened. Like when somebody is standing up and they're making threats like that, you got to stand up and intervene. You got to stop them. I'm not saying to use physical force necessarily right away. You got to match force with force, right? If they're talking, then you got to match, verbal, you know, verbal force with verbal force. If they're, using ordinary force, then you match that with ordinary force. You just have to be faster, more violent, more whatever, right? You have to escalate to a certain degree to win, right? I'm not saying to escalate to lethal force or anything, but it wasn't until a woman was literally running for her life, who is probably going to have nightmares for the rest of her life. She's going to have to go through, years and years of therapy just to be able to eat soup again. Get it? The spoon. And I'm upset that so many dudes just tried to slouch in their seat and cower down and do nothing until it was like, oh, okay, someone's going to die. Now I got to do something because somebody might die. And that's just bullshit, in my opinion. For me personally, I would stand up and make myself a target so that way it would keep him from likely jumping and running and going after other people, right? I would rather have him coming after me with a spoon than him coming after this, flight attendant lady with a spoon. So I don't know. I mean, I just think that's some bullshit. It was a peaceful protest. Oh my God. WWDD, what would Dark do? Punch him in the back of the head. I mean, you could sneak him, In America in 2023, motherfucker goes with me all in. Yeah, you know what? You could do the B-hole carry, We could PWEDC. Yeah, that bystander effect is total bullshit, man. That's so okay, so it is and it's not, right? The people that are typically stuck in that like bystander effect phase are people that haven't had to experience any amount of like trauma or any type of like interactions like that. Or you can see like when you see like interactions and fights and shit like that where people literally just stand there and they kind of freeze up or don't know what to do or don't know how to act, and like, you're about to get punched, like put your hands up, take a step back, walk away. Why would you turn your back to them? Like all these things that like we know, all of us know, don't do that, right? It's just this thing that people that typically haven't been in those type of situations are the ones that react that way, right? They're the ones, like last stream we were talking about people freaking the fuck out, like we talked about Rich with his plane crashes. It's like, if guys out there, ladies out there, forgive me, but like if a woman was in the same situation as Rich, they would have been like, oh my God, and like called their husband, like, you'll never believe what's happening right now. Like, I'm going down. Like, no, get off the phone with me. Save yourself. Like, stop. Don't call a man. Just do something. By the way, Farmer James, you got to hit me up with your info because I got this shit just sitting here. The holster, the holster, and I think a 26 jig or 43 jig. I got it all written down, but I got all that stuff for you. He's a dead man with those situations. Go for the neck or eyes. I mean, honestly, most of this could have probably been ended with just like, oh shit, I gotta plug up my computer. Hold up. Most of the shit could have been ended with just like a normal, ordinary force, hands, like straight up, hands on hands interaction, right? Nobody, and then if he pulls his little, spiky spoon out, then, whatever. Try to disarm him, go to work on him, or knock him the fuck out, or break his teeth. But like, dude, if somebody was yelling, if I was right where that dude was that had both of his AirPods in, that was like, ooh, like looking at his phone with his laptop on his tray table, right? Just not even turning around, you didn't even look. You did not even look. And it wasn't until this was going on for more than 10 minutes that you decided to, not even them, right? Other people up front that were near the woman that was about to get her throat freaking, punctured. It wasn't until then that other people got involved. And I'm glad they did. I am glad that some people had the balls to stand up, but the majority didn't stand up. And maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is a lesson saying, hey, most people won't stand up for you. Most people won't stand up for the general public. Most people won't go out on a limb. Most people won't put themselves, in front of a potentially violent attacker to save others. But looking at it and watching this shit, after he stood up and made the threat of killing every single man on that plane, after he said what he said, I would have stood up, and I probably would have very been very vocal, and I probably would have been like, keep running your mouth and I will split your fucking shit open, homie. And then if he's like, I got a spoon, I'm gonna be like, all right, let's do it. Because there's some shit that I bring with me on a plane, right? And it may look like some ordinary shit, right? But trust me, there's some tools, right? I may even have some of them laying around here. But even if it's just like, look, let me show you this little guy. Hold on one sec. So this little guy is titanium, so it doesn't react to and I'm not saying that you or I or any of us like would need something like this, but things like this could help. Okay, so this is a little titanium ring, key ring, right? Knuckle duster, bottle opener, whatever you want to call it, right? And this is titanium, so it doesn't react to to metal detectors or anything like that. Something as simple as this slipped over your finger is going to do considerable damage. It also hurts when you hit somebody with it. I'm just saying, it hurts you too, but it does some serious damage. There's also another end where the key rings usually go that will punch a little 2 millimeter hole in their fucking skull. If sorry, I'm super behind on chat, y'all. Let me see. Getting hit with the 1-2. Go for the neck or the eyes. He's a dead man with those situations. Getting hit with that 1-2. Already told you what I would have to pull my 40 cal PWED seed and smoke check him. Yeah, if you got if you got something up the old prison wallet, then go to work. Impale him with a paper straw. Right. That's the thing, man. We're all kind of at the mercy of whatever we're allowed to bring on, through TSA, we'll say. If he wants to run his mouth, let him, but the very second he takes action, it's on. So I get that, right? But he wasn't just running his mouth, right? He wasn't just sharing his beliefs and opinions. They were violent threats of death. That's different. Friends, I have some advice. Never wear rubber boots without socks. Blisters. This is true. This is very true. Very good advice. I would love to have been there to make sure our tax dollars are not spent housing, feeding, clothing, or doing anything for the scum. Facts. Hard charge with oncoming head trauma. Yeah, there's a time for action. You know what? What if he was attacking with his wiener? Well, got to go to work, man. Either way, just keep that weapon away from me. Threats on a plane are forced. They gave the dude every chance, and he deserves every chance. Your force level should be the same or only one step up from your aggressor, not more or less. Totally agree, right? And you gotta you got to be able to balance, right? So a lot of people, I talk to people all the time that are like, oh, if I was in this situation, if I got punched, if I got beat up, or if I got jumped, I would just pull out my gun and shoot them. It's like, no, you can't match ordinary force with lethal force, right? It doesn't work like that, right? Now, the moment that somebody introduces any type of, and of course, different states vary, right? But the moment that anyone incorporates a weapon that could potentially, cause grievous bodily harm and or death, it's done. Like any type of ordinary force is gone. So there's preventative force. There's like the hot sauce, right? If and obviously I'm not talking about the plane right now. I'm just saying in general. I'm answering to Thirsty Colt's comment. There's preventative force, right? You hit somebody with the old hot sauce, that could prevent something from happening. As homie from Asp says, it's the long distance eye poke, right? And that's painful, bro. It's painful, right? It's not going to totally take somebody out of the count, and it usually takes like 30 to 45 seconds to for real set in and really take them out. So you better still have some other, skills as far as ordinary force goes, ordinary physical force. And then if it's ordinary physical force, you just got to have enough, time, and whether it's training or if it's martial arts or like whatever your thing is, right? You got to match ordinary force with ordinary force, but you have to be faster. You have to be more violent. You have to be more well trained. You have to be willing to do worse shit, right? If they're willing to box, then you better be willing to box, bite, kick, fucking dislocate, break arms and fingers, like bite their ear off, whatever you got to do. There is no limit. If you're in a street fight, there aren't any rules, right? No ref is going to come in and, you guys know what I'm saying. Even if you're matching ordinary force with ordinary force, you have to be faster. You have to be more violent. You have to be better trained. You have to have more skills, because if you go to the ground with somebody, you got to do whatever you can to put them out. It doesn't matter, right? Now, if it's lethal force to lethal force, and I'm no expert and I'm not giving advice, I'm just talking about this subject, okay? If it's lethal force to lethal force, then you better be more, more equipped, right? You better be equipped with a lot of ammunition. You better be more well trained. You better be faster. You better practice your draw. You better get a sub 2-second draw to first shot. Like, no matter what it is, if you're matching ordinary force with ordinary force, be better, faster, stronger, more violent, right? If it's lethal force with lethal force, you got to be better, faster, stronger, have better equipment, better gear. You got to have more rounds. You got to have better accuracy. You just got to increase your odds of winning in every single possible chance. Don't escalate a situation like this in real life, fellas. Side note for reals. I know, and I'm not, I get it, right? But these dudes didn't even look up to look around and see what was going on. For all they could have known, he could have been rocking a fucking S vest and they would have no idea, because they didn't even take their face out of their phones to look what was going on. And then 4 completely different dudes, right? We have women standing up and saying, "Stop, you're scaring my children," right? Imagine when that woman and that husband and, those children go home. How are they going to be looking at their dad that was just like, "Honey, stop, don't say anything. I don't want him to look this way." The only way to stop this and send a message to the future is to grape them. Damn, that's tough. Step up too soon and you're on the no-fly list. This is also true. I get it. Yes, sir, officer. I heard a loud crack when I took him to the ground. Yeah, technically, when he went to open the emergency door, he gets what he gets. Then, yeah, I'm with you. You touch the emergency door, or you try to mess with the plane or anything at all, you're getting snuffed. I PWC a baseball, but oh, bro, for people that don't know about the PWEDC, sorry, everything's falling off my desk. The PWEDC is the prison wallet everyday carry. great for all of your EDC needs. So if you ever found yourself in a difficult situation, you've ever been wondering, how in the world will I fit this full-size 10.5-inch long, 6-inch, 38 square butt grip up my beehole? Well, look up the news story, because it's been done. I mean, the dude straight sat on it like a G. Straight up like a G. Let's see. Just make sure that. Impressive. Fangs out. Wangs out, fangs out. Oh, man. Make them wish they hadn't. Dude, that's brutal. I've been in enough mosh pits. Facts. Do not escalate. Motherfucker yells, it acts weird. Okay, time, distance, and cover offers options, and time means lives. Be calm and be ready. Applause to the folks on that plane. So I agree. Applause to the people that stood up and actually took action. But in my opinion, everyone else that sat there soft and quiet is a puss. That's all I'm saying. Throw a pun. And I'm not, look, I am not saying, like, I am not a proponent of violence. I don't personally enjoy violence. I don't think that, it's not something that I do on a normal basis, but I think it's something that every single person, every single man, and women too, right? Every single person, man, whatever, women, I think it's something that everybody should become highly trained in, is violence, just in case you have to use it, right? It's the same principle as us carrying a handgun. We carry a handgun, and we may not even think about it all day, that we have the ability to, end somebody's life, right? Like that. A lot of times it kind of keeps me in check, and a lot of others that I talk to that are like, yeah, I may not get in a fight, a road rage incident, or in a situation, because I remember that any type of interaction could become a fatal interaction, right? Especially if I do something to make it worse, then it could become a lethal interaction that could have been avoided. So I get that. I'm totally with you on that. I broke my arm recently. Talk about agonizing pain. Yikes. I'm sorry, man. I've actually never broken a bone before. I could not imagine what that feels like. I've had a friend that was literally right next to me break his leg, and it turned into jelly and the bone poked out, and that ish changed my freaking life. If you've never seen inside somebody's body like that, yo, crazy. Broken arm pain is no joke. What about a broken heart? Facts. John Kimball knows what's up. In Airplane, the movie, they did it right. Form a line and take turns slapping the shit out of the crazy passenger. Yeah, that's true. The nuns go first. I got a spoon. DLD. What about a spork? I just texted the F out of you, my man. Oh, I didn't even see. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at my phonesies. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yo, 97 notifications. What? What y'all doing? What y'all doing? All right, hold on.
Mike McClune gifted 5 membership. That is all.
Oh my goodness, bro. Thank you for doing that. Hey, I didn't even see that. I'm so far behind in hold on, don't leave yet, Crump. I'm so far behind in chat. So I would have gotten to it initially. So Mike McClune, thank you so much for gifting subs. Let's give him a sad Jamaican horn. Fwah, 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 fwah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my brother. You are the man, and I hope they went to all great people. John Crump, are you still with us?
I'm here.
Okay, tell me why. Oh, hold up. Is my mic not connected? Oh my God. Okay, you're telling me my mic hasn't been connected the whole time? Y'all didn't even do me? Hold on.
Your mic's connected.
What about now? Fwah, 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 fwah.
Yeah, now it is.
Now it is. Okay. I am so sorry. I usually check it before every single show, and that's why people were leaving. I'm just kidding. Okay, so John Crump, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, my friend. Now, tell me this. Are you familiar with the flight that we're talking about, where people had gone from LA to Boston, and there was a dude that went batshit nuts on the flight?
Yeah, it happens more times than you would think it does. It just doesn't usually make the news a lot.
Yeah.
I have a pilot friend that was telling me about several situations where passengers had to sit on someone, or they had to lock them in the bathroom, or
lock them in the bathroom.
Yeah, they threw the dude. One of the flights, they threw the dude in the bathroom, and then they basically.
That's kidnapping, isn't it?
Well, if the
Oh
dude's
my
going
God.
crazy.
I'll cut your eyes out with a spoon. A spoon? Because it's dull. You twit, it'll hurt more. Name that
Monty
movie.
Python.
Are you sure? It was actually Robin Hood Men in Tights.
You are correct, sir.
I think it
Wow.
was. I think it was. Did you search it?
No, I just remembered it when you said it.
It's dull. You twit, it'll hurt more. Oh, Jason Inman actually said it. Yeah, he said. I didn't even see that. I promise, y'all. I grew up watching Robin Hood Men in Tights. Told a guy in high school if we fought and went to the ground, I would poke his eye out. He quit talking so loud and calmed down. Be the next slap master. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Blade
If
Boy.
it goes to the ground, you're in my ocean.
Farmer James. Hey, weird guy on a plane making threats. Just you wait. I'm gonna pull a gun out of my ass, and you're in big trouble. Yeah. So don't do that. If you're actually, and guys, don't confuse my. Where did it go? Don't confuse my PWEDC patch with me saying or recommending that you should carry a gun in your beehole, okay? Because don't. You can damage all sorts of stuff if you do
Well,
that.
there's been plenty of things where people have smuggled phones in like that.
Mm-hmm. And
And yeah, well, there was a gun that they were doing strip search of a prisoner. It was a female prisoner, and a gun fell out of her vag.
One actually discharged in her vag, and the muzzle was pointed out, and she got serious. I mean, there was serious damage done to her. I mean, could you imagine a slide reciprocating in that thing? But the bullet actually went out, like the muzzle was sticking out of her twatskis.
Interesting.
Yeah. You don't carry in the beehole. Okay, yes, but it goes up the. Don't put guns in your butt, guys, or your rectum, or anything.
So I made it to Delaware.
You're in Delhi. Where?
Yeah, I was. My plan for this weekend was just to like sit out and like stare at the ocean, but it's gonna rain all weekend, so I might just stare out the ocean while it's raining. I don't know.
I mean, that is a pretty cool thing to do. What is this? Washington State just banned all semi-auto rifles and all semi-auto pistols.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's going to be overturned. They've already like shitloads of lawsuits filed. The Bruin thing, right, is so detrimental to gun laws that Bruin's gonna take it all down unless you do some mental gymnastics like the 11th Circuit did,
Jeez.
where they used the ratification of the 14th Amendment and not the Second Amendment as their baseline, and then said, "Oh, they had racist gun laws." Yeah, they're like, there's gun laws that was passed during Reconstruction period of the Civil War. It's like, yeah, those are called Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
That was a 3-judge panel. It's going to go to en banc, and I'm pretty sure the en banc will overturn it because that's just a dumbass argument that doesn't hold any weight, and it's something that was just pulled out of their ass.
Pulled out of their ass. We were just talking about guns being pulled out of butt. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I seeing all the shit that's going on right now. If I or anyone out there has not already completely lost faith in our country, here you go, guys. It's
Well,
crazy.
I haven't lost faith in the country. I've lost faith in the government.
Oh yeah, I mean that came first. I mean, if anything, the only thing that I have belief left in is the people, and that would be people like us. Because most of the people that we're talking about, and honestly, it's probably a lot of these guys that are in these like chats and the keyboard warriors that are like, I would have done this and that, and I would have, that are talking about it's time to pick up your guns, and all that crazy shit. I think most people that are like us have no desire to, pick up a gun and hit the streets. It's, in my opinion, it's not picking up a gun and being able to change the path that we're headed down, and where we're at right now. That's the more honorable route.
Yeah, I'm not looking for revolution. I'm looking for a restoration of our rights.
Facts. Very good point. So, BMX boys and joke. Sorry, guys, I missed so much of your chats. I'm sorry. Flights for me would involve a minute of looking around and nodding at some folks, and then moving cordially to effective action and opportune time. Yeah, I mean, look, I could not imagine. Hey, Montana, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Bill of Rights, enforce it. Facts. Let's go to Crash. Yeah, so going back to the whole plane thing, I am not saying that, that I would have expected that somebody would have jumped into action sooner because he just said things, right? But somebody should have at least approached him and, in a very, very serious manner, told him to close his mouth and put his behind in the seat if he didn't want to be waking up on the floor and picking up his teeth with a broken arm. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
well, people are dumb. Like, for example, there was a Jiu Jitsu world champion who since passed away, but he was eating pizza, and he was also like a UFC fighter too. He was eating pizza in Fairfax.
I thought you said pizza.
No, he was eating pizza in Fairfax.
Okay.
And this is all on camera, and some dude decided that he was gonna, because the dude's kind of little-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
The big dude decided that he's going to F with this guy.
Yeah.
And they were gonna film it. And the guy's just eating pizza. He's like, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. Fairfax is in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't want any trouble. And the guy kept on pushing and pushing, and then he swung at the dude. And that was, it was just like a light switch. you can see the video. It's on YouTube, but the dude just like grabbed him, threw him to the did like a trip. Then went to the double leg, took him down, and choked his ass out.
Damn. Yeah. Hey, chokes.
Like trip. Boom.
Chokes are extremely effective if you can get in the, if you know how to do them. I don't know how to do all those crazy chokes that I see. Like, some of these chokes that I see dudes do, I don't even know how they're choking them. I'm just like, how is it choking them out?
Because it's not like a choke. I did like 5 years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As you saw my instructor. You know my instructor was.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Well, you've been to my house.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I learned chokes. Chokes are not actually chokes; they're more strangulations.
Yeah.
Because you're not actually cutting off the air, because that's ineffective. It's effective, but it takes a long time.
It's blood.
Yeah. It's a strangulation. It's a blood choke. So you're cutting off the blood. And
have you ever been choked out to the point of passing out?
Oh yeah, of course.
Have you ever been punched in the face?
Yeah, many times.
Can you take a punch?
Yeah, dude. I used to do MMA, man.
Yeah. So I think a lot of these dudes haven't been punched in the face. They haven't been choked out. They don't know that they are a weapon, right? Like their hands, their mind, their head, their knees, their everything, their elbows, their teeth. Like, you are the weapon. And most of these dudes, and I'm not saying everyone should live a life where they can eat a fucking punch. Like, but you gotta be
get
able.
punched.
Yeah,
you
if you
gotta
don't
train. If you've never taken a punch before, I mean, Mike Tyson once said that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face,
Yeah,
and that is really really true. I mean,
without,
if you've never been punched, I mean it's something that you know your plans go out the window once you get punched if you've never been punched before. Uh, that's why you train. That's why Brazilian Jiu Jitsu they train like full speed. That's why MMA we used to train full speed. Where
yeah.
you would actually have to take a punch. Um, and yeah, dude, once you
So,
break your nose, your eyes tear up and stuff like that. So you gotta freaking learn how to fight through that shit.
yeah, and honestly, like a lot of times, people that are just getting punched in the face for the first time, they may go out, right? They may literally drop to the ground, be completely dazed, right? Even if they're not knocked out, if they've never been punched, it
Yeah,
will completely daze them, right?
dude. If
Risky
you see
Crispy.
stars, you got to be able to recover from that shit
Oh
fast.
yeah, because you're the next time you're getting hit, and if somebody two pieces you, if you see that flash on your first hit, you're out on the next one. Like
Yeah, well,
but
oh,
people that may have not been in situations like that don't know how to, go through encounters like that and to protect themselves, to recover from it quickly, and to
they-
strike. Risky Crisky, what's up, brother? He says, if I was on that plane, I would have slapped that mofo in the mouth. And by the way, if you guys don't subscribe to Risky Crisky, he has some,
great channel.
yeah, excellent content, dope ass shit.
Well,
It's A grade
well,
shit, man.
well, you see a lot of people when they fight, they're like this, chins up. You got to tuck your chin, man. Protect that button.
Yeah,
If they hit you on the button, man, I don't care how big you are. If you don't protect your chin and you get hit on the button or the temple, you're fucked. You're going out, dude.
TMJ, just saying the tebumandibular joint or whatever it is. Yeah, that's night switch. Montana says, I got bit once. Okay, so I got bit once too, really badly, and that there was a couple things that happened in my life where I realized that, like, there are no more rules. Okay, I I was in I was in a city that ends with the word park. Okay. in in the area where you grew up, and
Was it the area? Was it the city that I grew up in?
it was off the boulevard.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, okay. And for a lot of you guys out there, like, there's a lot of like MS-13, like 18th Street, and gang activity. It's
Yeah,
not.
they usually leave you alone if it's gonna sound terrible, but if you're white, they leave you alone.
Yeah, for the most part, I
You
mean,
can
there may
walk
be
right
some,
through
like,
but usually it's Hispanic on a Hispanic crime. They just you can walk through there being totally white, and they're like, all right, well, I'm gonna go knock over Pedro over there instead of this dude because this dude's gonna call the cops. Pedro was worried about getting deported, so he's not gonna call the cops. My
as
gun
long
store
as
used to be in there. It
as
used to be there.
as long as you don't appear to be affiliated and you don't
Yeah,
mess with
yeah.
them or give them the stare down or whatever, you're typically safe. And it's not like a hood area, right? This is just like an area where some bad people are,
Well,
right?
it's not. I mean, they've cleaned it up a lot, dude. A lot of those guys
Yeah.
are gone.
Now
I mean, they've
now this
really, really cracked down on them. So they're actually moved
to Herndon,
toward no, even
Fairfax,
farther out, like
Alexandria. Yeah.
Hoodbridge.
Fairfax, Alexandria, Woodbridge, all that. Yeah, they're
Well,
definitely in
Fairfax,
there.
Alexandria, they've cleaned up a lot too. It's more of Hoodbridge and that's even cleaned up. A
Yeah.
lot of them are in like Maryland now,
Yeah. Yeah,
where
that's
you
true.
won't get shot.
And in areas that are, yeah, because mofos in Virginia will put a freaking mag in your ass. But so I was walking through that area, and there was a party. There was a guy that came through the party, and he didn't like me. Well, he was literally rolling around like 12 deep. Okay, for people out there, that means they were about 12 people, right? And he had called the house phone at that time, and they were like, yo, like that dude, Dark, we're coming back for Dark. So I was like, all right, I want nothing to do with this. I don't want beef. I don't want drama. I had access to, you know, items of self protection. I was young. I was not allowed to be carrying a gun, but I had it. But I was like, I'm not going to go to, you know, my car and get the gun, or I'm just going to literally walk away. So I walked away, walked through several rows of townhouses, walked out to a park, and I just
Oh no,
completely,
I know where you were.
probably. But
Was there a bubbling brook somewhere near there?
not too far away from that. It's a different neighborhood, but yeah, not too far away from that. Very close. Um, and I ended up
Was the park? Did they have a lot of briars on the trees around the park?
no. Very much closer to that than the brook. Closer to that. It was not too far from the new station out there.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
like
All right, gotcha.
where the ridges are rolling.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
There's an elementary school there.
yeah, yep.
Right.
So
Yep.
the neighborhood's over there, and I was walking through. I literally left. I had one of my friends that like grabbed a fireplace poker and grabbed two of my other friends and was like, let's do this. I'm like, no, dude, stop. Like this, we're not going to do it. They had come previously and they had a problem with somebody. They were just looking for a fight, and literally walked up on this dude that was just sitting down having a drink, and they just started firing off on him like boom, 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 boom. And I swear to God, they hit him first. They just hit him like 2 or 3 times, and he had like spilled his drink and dropped. And he was like, "Dude," he was like, "What the hell? What are you doing?" Pop, pop, pop. Hit him a few more times, and he's like looking down, and he obviously he didn't have the courage to stand up and fight 12 dudes. One dude was punching him, but he wasn't about to stand up and fight 12 people, right? And most people in their right mind wouldn't. And he was like, yo, like, why are you doing this? Stop. And they just finally caught him a few more times, and he was out, right? Now, I guess they didn't get their fill of blood, so they had left and then called the home phone. They were like, yo, we're coming back for dark. So I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm not putting you all through this, and I'm not doing this. So whatever. 2, 3 of my friends were like, yo, we got you. We'll roll with you. And I was like, no, I'm leaving. I'm not entertaining this shit. And I had beef with one of the dudes in there who actually ended up being involved in the murder of somebody I know later on in life. But anyway, so I leave. Okay. Now, 2 of my friends were behind me. They had still left, and they were following me because they were like, we don't know what's going to happen, if they're going to come hear that he left and then follow him. So 2 of my friends that were trailing behind me ended up coming to the park that I was at. And I'm literally in this like this grassy ditch that's next to a park. And all of a sudden, I see all these shadows coming back there. And that third friend that picked up the fireplace poker that was like, yo, I got you. We're going to roll together. He was the one that told him where I went. Right? Like that's how you never know who's really on your side. So they all roll up, and I was like, all right, that's it. Like I am at least, you know, getting in a fight with one person, if not getting jumped and getting my ass whooped. Right? So they all roll up, and they're like, all right, this dude, I'm not going to say his name because he's probably still wanted for murder, but this dude, or conspiracy for murder, whatever, is going to fight Dark. And I was like, no, I'm not going to fight him. And they were like, oh, come on, you're soft, you're this, you're that. I was like, I'm not going to fight him
I don't
because
think he's in the country anymore.
maybe not. I don't know. He was hiding out at WVU for like years, and they knew it. They knew it. Like they knew he was there, but no one ever did anything. Rest in peace, Javon. But yeah, well, that's another thing. But so basically, I was like, look, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to play y'all's game. I know what's going to happen. If I throw hands with him, the second that we start fighting, all of y'all are jumping in, and I'm not playing that shit. So for 10, 15 minutes, they're all circled around us. They're all trying to get us to fight. And the main dude that was trying to fight me, that was like, score up, score up. He finally like, and he's not a big dude, right? But he's thin, he's tall, he's fast, and he's got reach, right? Like his reach, he had more reach than I did. So it was, though he was smaller, you know, it was a fair fight, I'd say, but weight wise, it was not a fair fight. So anyway, he came up to me and he was like, "Square up." I was like, "No, I'm not going to do it." "Square up." "No, I'm not going to do it." So I guess they confused that with like me being a coward, that I wouldn't fight them. So he gets closer and he's like, "Square up," and he puts his hands up and he starts doing this like kind of like pump fake and stuff, right? And then he punches and I'm like, and I just kind of dodge it and I'm like, "Yo," I'm like, "Leave me the fuck alone." And he comes up and he pump fakes with one hand and then he hits me with a body shot. And I mean, it was nothing, right? I kind of laughed and I was like, "Yo, back up." All right. So he swings again and I just duck back and I dodge one more punch and I kind of turned around and went past him. Now all 12 of them are behind me. Okay. And I was like, "Yo, I am leaving. If you follow me or if y'all like, I'm going to knock one of y'all out." All right. So I see as I'm walking away, I can hear his little swishy pants going. So I know somebody's like coming up behind me. And then just because of the placement of the street lights out there, I literally see him behind me cocking back, like about to rabbit punch me. And I just turned around and he just didn't even see it coming. And I was just like, "Fuck!" And I caught him with one right hand. And I swear to God, he spun around to the point where his feet twisted up and he just boom, like the leverage of him falling just was like smack on the ground. And I jumped on top of him and I was just like literally ground and pounding him. And I hit him like 3, 4 times and he was out, totally out. Grabbed his earrings and I ripped his earrings out and I literally pulled his hoodie up and I was trying to pull his hoodie off to take it so I could wear it and be like, "Yeah, like I knocked this mofo out." Right. So after I punt and knocked him out, knocked him to the ground, he literally fell and collapsed like whoosh, like that, like a tree, like timber, right? And then ripped out his earrings. So I know he had like the slices in his ears from me ripping out his earrings and hit him like 3 or 4 times. And I started to pull up his hoodie. And then all of a sudden it was just like all of those people ran up. And I have never had my ass whooped so bad. About a dozen people stomped me for several minutes. It was so bad that I literally had a Timberland boot print, a Timberland tree on my neck for like 2 weeks. The blood vessels had literally like, you know, basically taken shape of the Timberland boot. I had ridges of boots on my neck. I had you know, swollen and nothing was broken, but I had like a swollen eye socket. My eye was like blood red. My knee was like totally jacked up. Like they were beating my ribs. They were kicking me in the head, and I basically crouched over like this, but I was still on top of their boy. And they all ran after that, and they beat the dog shit out of me, dude, kicking me in the head. It was just like flash, 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 flash. I was just getting torn the fuck apart. You got Birdman lugged. But when I got up and I could like, I mean, I was still awake. I never got knocked out. They never got like a really, really good kick in the head. But on like my neck, I had like whiplash. I was so fucked up. I pulled off his hoodie and I took it off his nearly lifeless body. He was still alive, but he was knocked out. They probably accidentally kicked his ass too. And I pulled it off and I wore that fucking hoodie for like 2 weeks straight. And I saw his boys at the In-N-Out in that area, and they all rolled up in a car, and I was across the median and
below the pool hall.
Yep. And they all saw me, and I was, you know where that median is, and then there's that shopping center on the other side.
Yeah.
I was on the other side, so they couldn't just like drive over to me. They'd have to drive like all the way around to come to me. And they looked at me, and I was like this, and I was like, "What's up?" And then I may have lifted up my my hoodie as well, just to show them my you know, my waistband.
The funniest fight I got into. I know that wasn't funny, but this was kind of funny. It's a guy that you brought.
Back on that, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about that. That one interaction taught me a lot. So it's kind of funny.
Well, this one taught me a lot, and this dude that your brother actually knows, like sucker punched me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it hit me in the forehead, and he
Oh,
ran, and he turns around and runs off. I'm like, what's like, what the hell? Where's he
yeah.
going? What happened was he hit me, but he hit me in the forehead, and you learn not to punch someone in the forehead. It's because your forehead's like the hardest bone in your body.
Yeah.
So he punched, and he punched with his like outer two knuckles,
Oh,
and it's like split his. He had to get surgery on his hand. They had to put like pins in there. But
dude,
I was just
if you don't punch correctly, you will break your hand on someone's face.
but it
So,
was weird because the dude just sucker punched me, and his name was it might have been like ask your brother about a guy that name is a snack food. Probably know who I'm talking about. But no, but he
um,
but he like the sucker punched me and just like ran away. I couldn't. I had no idea like what the hell happened. You
his
know,
name is a snack food. You may have to text it to me. I don't know.
Chip was his name.
Oh, Chip, the guy with the effed up bottom tooth?
Yeah,
I think I remember him. I
yeah.
don't
He
know.
punched me and like but something. It was just like this sucker punch out of nowhere, and he just like ran. And I was like so confused because I'm like,
Yeah, you gotta when you gotta know where to punch. You gotta know where to punch people, right? Foreheads are not temples. Temples are an excellent spot to punch people. Or elbows. Okay, so a lot of guys like to do this. Now, Clint Eastwood, no, I did not lose any teeth. So I guarded myself. I went down like this, and I was just trying to strobe my eyes because I got kicked directly in my eye like that. So I was just trying to strobe so I could still see through all the tears and stuff. Because when you get kicked in like this area, your eyes just automatically start watering like crazy, right?
yeah,
So I
it's
was
the
like,
involuntary.
yeah. So I was strobing my and guys, strobing your eyes is actually a really good technique to like look through OC spray. If you get your nose broken, if anything that gives that involuntary mucus pour out of your face, you can strobe your eyes to look to still see like silhouettes and stuff like that. So I would look like where they were coming from, and I would guard based on that area. So I was down on the ground on top of their homie, by the way, and I was just guarding myself, and I was like looking up to see where they were
Like
coming from, just guarding everywhere that I could. So the one time they cracked me in the eye, that was the best shot that they got on me, but they stomped me into the ground, dude. It was terrible. But the hilarious thing is that I was on top of their friend the whole time, and I didn't even get knocked out like that. One day I'll tell you guys about another fight that I got into because these are all well past the statute of limitations. um, when I fought the Terminator, like I swear to God, this dude was a freaking android. Like it was nuts. He did not go down for the life of him, and I admire um, his ball size, Cheeto, bugles. People were guessing Smarty move dark. Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't even like do that on purpose. That's just the all that came to my mind.
I mean,
Most people can throw a punch or kick.
I fought this one idiot
True.
one time that was like, gonna jump me with a baseball bat, and he stuck the baseball bat down his pants. And when he came up to me, he was trying to pull the baseball bat out. I couldn't get the baseball bat out, so his like freaking leg was like stuck in one position. He couldn't get his baseball bat out. I was just like jumped on him.
You know, depending
Yeah,
on how they're holding things like that, like bats and
yeah.
anything that's as long as they're not wielding it like in a
No,
correct
he couldn't get
manner.
out of his pants. He walked up to me like this, like he has a baseball bat in his pants. It's like how freaking obvious is that? He can't bend his knee.
Dude, that you're lucky it wasn't. There was a time in my life where I could slip a Maverick 88 down my pants and carry it. Dude, I had a friend that was stabbed at that same place, at the near that In and Out. Um, there was a place where people hung out and played pool, and he was in a fight, and this dude was like twice his size and wouldn't leave him alone, was fucking with him, and he ended up taking off his belt, and he had like a solid steel belt buckle, and he ended up beating the shit out of this dude. But he didn't realize that the dude pulled out one of those like buck 110s, the silver and black buck knives, and he literally was like right into his chest, right?
Yeah.
But
I
when you
think
get stabbed, you feel like you're getting punched. You just feel that pressure of getting like hit, right? So he continued to fight and ended up getting in the car, and he said like when they drove off, he like went out the window to yell like yeah, that's what I thought, and he was like, I couldn't speak. So I get back in and my shirt was soaking wet. It punctured his lung. Dude, he almost died. He was in the hospital for weeks with a catheter in him and all sorts of shit. He had surgery, and I mean that. Dude, knives are no joke. Detective John Kimball, it's a different In and Out. It's not
yeah,
In and
yeah,
Out
yeah. I
Burger.
was about to say if they don't sell hamburgers, it's just like little
It's like a
POS.
corner store.
Yeah, it's like a little knockoff 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
but with like expired, like everything expired,
Yeah.
basically.
They basically said like everything that's actually for sale that's like food or drink or anything sucks, but they sell like every type of blunt wrap you could think of, bongs, bowls, like wrapping papers, like anything like smoke related, they sell it there. And they just don't monitor any of their other stock. Most of the people I've fought couldn't punch right. I'm a little dude, but after the first punch, it was on. Pissed me off. Yeah, if you got to look at what you have going for you, right? So, a lot of times, like some of the dudes that I fought, the fights that I lost were skinny, really, really fast dudes that were lanky and they had reach on me. So you got to go in close and do work, right? Or use your size against them, or whatever. But you got to look at like what benefit do I have against this person? And if you try like the whole Michael um with the everyone has a plan to get punched in the face. Mike Tyson, sorry. The whole we were talking about Michael Jackson the other day. The whole Mike Tyson thing, like everyone has a plan to get punched in the face, right? That's like to these people that are like, all right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna, I'm gonna duck and then punch with the right and go to the
Yeah, that
left and then
shit
go
never happens. I mean,
never,
you
you know.
react. The fighting is all reactive. It's muscle memory.
Yeah, you may think that you could do that until you're going against the energy of somebody else. Like it's the full,
Aggression wins fights a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, and endurance. If you can't endure a fight, like some of these fights, you're talking fights that last like several minutes. Like afterwards, I'll like stand up and puke and be like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm like that took it all out of me, you know. And imagine if you're like fighting to retain your handgun, or like fighting for something that is like life. And you never know what you're going to be fighting for. So and there have been fights where I had been in fist fights, because remember, like ordinary force versus ordinary force, you just want to be faster, be more violent, be whatever edge you have to win, right? Whether it's whatever, violence of action or speed or strength or endurance, whatever it is. But you know there have been fights that I've been in where I had a handgun in my waistband and I just never, needed to. I didn't need, there was
Yeah,
no lethal force needed. But you better make sure you got a fucking tight ass holster with a great gun belt, with a great, like nothing will take that out unless you are ready to draw your handgun.
Yeah, I mean, I've never got. I mean, like my last fight was like freshman year of college,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Crump accidentally whooped an amputee.
Yeah, I mean that was back in high school.
Hold on, is this real?
He's talking about the dude that had the
Oh, the
bat
the
and the
baseball
bat.
bat.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because it was all over a freaking girl too, man.
hold on. I
Um,
didn't hear the amputee part. I heard
it
he had
wasn't amputee, but he had a bat in there, so he couldn't really use his leg because
okay, I get it.
it
I was like,
was
hold
like,
on,
yeah.
what?
I was dating his ex-girlfriend. She broke up with him to go out with me. It was stupid high school shit.
Yeah, it usually is.
And
Would have
like my
never
last fight was
thought of
like
a
was
thing.
the my last fight was the sucker punch, and that was like freshman year of college.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then I haven't really been in any fights, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've been in a fight. The last fight that I was in, I believe this was the last fight that I was in. Um, and again, I'm not like condoning any of the shit, right? Like fighting is senseless and stupid, especially if you carry a gun. Like these were my very early years of like lawfully carrying a handgun. And damn, Vanessa Kitty's a fighter. She's out there whooping some ass. Why is John always stealing people's girls?
I had that reputation. Um,
You just took their sloppy seconds, or you took their girl from them?
Usually was ask your brother.
Okay, I'll ask my brother.
I don't know. I used to always like these girls used they would think that I'm like this sweet harmless guy,
Oh my goodness, a
and then I would
20.
bang them.
Yeah, yeah, I've been there. I know somebody similar to that. I've gotten in a couple fights like that, but honestly, I got lucky because a lot of my fights ended with my right hand, and because I got a, I guess a reputation for knocking people out with one punch, I got lucky. A lot of people were like, "Fuck, what's the likelihood that if we fight, he could land one punch on me?" Like, I'm not taking that risk. So a lot of people didn't really fuck with me. But in groups, I would get jumped. I got jumped. I got in fights. There was one fight that I got into with a dude that I didn't even know, and it was I did a little whoopsie, and I accidentally punched his wife when we were fighting.
Oh, yeah, well, whoops.
Yeah. Now I know that sounds really bad, but you guys have
Fucker.
to listen to
Fucker.
like I I swear to God it was not on purpose, right? So this is them hoes ain't loyal for real. So basically, I'm at a party and there's this dude there that is kind of a country boy from outside of our area, and we were out in Chantilly.
From Western. Okay.
Yeah, from the western area of that area, and
Yeah, Northern Virginia is weird. Just to let people know, it's like you're like urban. Like city-ish, like metropolitan area. Then all of a sudden, you cross this imaginary border and you're in like freaking like Hicksville.
straight country,
And,
straight
and
country.
and it's like one side is all like metropolitan, and then the other side of the road is like Hicksville. It's
Yeah,
like really weird.
like literally, they have like you pull up at a stop sign and they got like livestock for sale on the street. It
Yeah, it's like you just left this like really industrial, this really metropolitan area, like really high, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But because of that, a lot of people would come from that, the West back like in the country like area, right? Where we're not too far away from, which, you know, one day I may go back to my homeland and buy land out there because that would be dope. But it's still kind of pricey out there. But
Oh, dude, it's like freaking insanely priced now.
yeah, yeah. But basically we're at a party. So if you guys pay attention here, every single fight happened because I put myself in a stupid environment for stupid parties because I would go out and I'd want to, so
Wait. Fluffy Buddy Arsenal from a local?
he's a little bit further away, but he's a little bit further away, but ish.
Okay. Y'all
He
gotta get together or something.
he lives in Long Island, Virginia too.
Oh, Existence Mundane. Grew up in DC and a couple of years in Alexandria. Wow.
Okay, yeah, not too far away. Not too far away.
I almost lived in Alexandria when I got married, but we ended up buying a house. But originally we were gonna live in like a condo in Alexandria, like right in Old Town.
Alexandria is a cool spot, and if
Old
I
Town's
could
really
go
cool.
back. All right, too many choices. Peace out, brother. Don't forget 9 mil all day. If I could go back and if I could purchase like one of those row houses in Alexandria in the 90s, oh my God.
Well, I mean that's where we almost lived.
Yeah, you should have bought a row house in Old Town because
No, like we kind of have one.
yeah, those were like what 300K and now they're going for like 1.3.
Yeah. So that's my wife lived out there
Hmm.
in one. And so we were gonna live there, but then we decided we wanted to have a single family home because we wanted to have a family. We didn't want to raise a family in Old Town.
Yeah, that's a
So
different type of living.
we
So
moved to the hood of Ashburn.
the hood. So, just to kind of paint the picture, I'm at this party, right? And for everybody out there, what I'm saying is like, evaluate where you're going and why, right? Like parties, places that you don't know people, places where people are drinking, places like never put yourself in situations like that. These are, literally over a decade ago, where more than a decade, but way over a decade ago, I was stupid and I always wanted to be like, Mr. Cool Guy going out with, and getting ass and shit like that. Nice, Rich. Congrats, man. But I'm at this party and this guy starts just like acting like the Hulk and he's, picking fights and apparently somebody had said that a guy in the party had a gun. Okay. So people were talking about, I assume me, that I had a gun, but I didn't show anybody anything. I didn't flash anything. I mean, I guess it's possible that like maybe somebody saw something, right? But it's
Maybe you
highly
printed
unlikely.
or something.
Yeah, but it's unlikely, but whatever. So, one of my boys who was not a dude to get into fights was targeted by him, and we're outside, and I'm like, "Yo, let's just go." Right? Now, at this time, I had that Glock 32 357 SIG that I had shot the pig with. I think I shot the pig later. Maybe this was after. Yeah, I think it was later. But anyway, I was carrying it with a really good instructor belt. I mean, that shit holds it so tightly into your waistband that like it doesn't matter what you do unless you're tugging that thing out, it's not going anywhere. And my boy like ran up on him and was like doing this whole like face to face thing that guys do when they want to act like tough. And I was like, no, because I knew that if he played the tough role and did not throw hands first, he was going to get a shit split. So I'm like yelling at him to stop, right? He wasn't listening to me. He got way too close to the guy, and the dude ended up punching him directly in his mouth, and he literally split his lip like all the way up. And like once I saw that, I kind of snapped and I stepped around all the people and I basically was like, all right, come on, motherfucker. So I did this to myself. Okay. I never should have done it. I was stupid and I was, trying to stand up for my friend who was also stupid. So no one ever do anything like that. But we start boxing with this guy who's about my size, but he's a little bit more built. He's in better shape, right? So if I don't get some super strategic or lucky hits, he's going to be able to last longer than me. He's going to be able to hit harder than me and, whatever. So we're boxing. And I swear to God, like this goes on for like 10 minutes. Okay. And he gets, a couple hits, nothing serious, but I get a hit on his nose, and I end up cracking his nose, and you can tell he's like, I don't think I broke it, but he was kind of out of commission for a second. And he had a friend come up behind me, and then the guy like jumped on me. This whole time we're boxing, we're going at each other like full strength, didn't go to the ground yet. This guy that was one of his friends jumped behind me, and he bear hugged me, and then he jumped up and locked his legs around me and just dropped. So I fell backwards with him on my back, and the dude that I was boxing with starts trying to stomp me, and he's literally like going for my head and my face, and I'm like turning away and trying to do whatever I can, but I am like from here up I can only like move like so much, and if this continues, like he's going to catch me, right? It got so serious that I was like, oh my God, I think my only way out of this is for me to use what little bit of motion I got with my hand and grab my gun and be like, bang, bang, to get out. Otherwise, if he stomps my ass and knocks me out and takes my gun, like it's over, right? But I ended up just throwing elbows into his ribs as hard as I could. And then at that time, his wife had gone and got their car. She gets the 4Runner. She pulls up. She almost runs over my head with the truck. Straight up. Like we rolled out of the way, and she would have killed both me and his friend. But we rolled out of the way, right? Once we rolled out of the way, I ran behind the truck, and the dude that I was fighting with, I had split his nose and like a little bit on his lip too. And he's in front of the car with the high beams on, and his wife is like looking at his nose and his lips and stuff like that. She's here, he's here, and they're in front of the 4Runner. So I'm behind it, and I'm like, hell no, this isn't over, right? So I crouch down and I walk along the side of the 4Runner, the passenger side, and I see him. He's literally right there. She's like looking at his wounds, and I run up and I just like as hard as I can, right hook, but I was still a little too, like I didn't have like the distance right. And when I hit him, the angle was like off. So I bounced off of his cheek, and she was right there. And it was like, ah! And she fell on the ground. And I have never seen a person get more mad than this dude. Like, he was just coming at me like a freaking freight train, dude. And we go back to boxing and back to fighting. And we eventually threw more blows and, basically stayed off the ground the whole time. We were boxing. And then people ran out. They were like, we're calling the cops. The cops are coming. The cops are here, whatever. And we ended up getting separated, and I ran away. I ran like 5-6 houses down and hid around the corner and hid behind a bush. And at that point, I was so winded and so done fighting that I literally was just like, all right, if this continues, because he grabbed a rock, I was like, if this continues, I just got to draw my gun. Because if he rolls up on me and I'm this tired and wiped out and can't fight, and he's got a rock, whatever. But I put myself in that situation. That was me. I was stupid. But I'm just saying, don't punch people's wives on accident. But we ended up talking. We saw each other at another party like weeks after that. And we ended up talking. All was forgiven. And he was like, yo. I was like, what's up? He was like, you're strong. I was like, you too. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, dude, when I punched you, I did not mean to punch your wife, bro. I'm so sorry. He's like, it's good. We good? We have a problem? No, we're not gonna have a problem. All right, cool. And all was forgotten. And I've actually run into him a few times since then. It was like, yo, you're that dude that, I fought. It's like, yeah, you're that dude that I fought. So it's kind of funny. It's not funny, but it's funny. Liver punch, nice. Kidney punch, nice. Throat punch, nice. Eye poke, done.
Dude,
facts.
Liver punch is like terrible, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'd rather be punched in the kidney than the liver.
Oh, but with the kidney, you're gonna have some.
You might piss blood, but
yeah,
liver punches hurt like a motherfucker. You can be dropped with the liver punch.
Yeah. A lot of people sleep on body shots, man. And if anybody comes into your space and does that, yeah, really? What? And they're like close, like too close, dudes think they can get away with doing that, man. If you come in my space, like it's over. Even if I throw the first punch, I don't give a fuck. An elbow at that distance will like end that shit like that.
Yeah, I mean elbows. People sleep on elbows, like Muay Thai. You know, we did some elbows, but liver punches. Oh Jesus! If you've ever been hit with a good stiff liver punch, it you basically I'd rather be punched in the fucking face
Yeah,
than take a liver punch.
I've had some good body shots, but I don't know if it was like definitely a state like a straight up like, solid liver punch. But okay, so Martin Kaminsky brings up a good point. Yeah, we just kind of been talking shit, right? So okay. So as you guys know, Polymer 80 had just recently lost or settled a very, very large um lawsuit. Okay, a $4 million lawsuit in DC. That is a big deal. That's a big hit, and that's a tough one to swallow. So the bridge frame and all of us helping support them and their company, like that's kind of like their last ditch effort to do whatever they can to, keep the
Hang on.
movement going. Yeah. Hang on. What?
No, for them to hang on until.
Oh yeah. For them. Sorry, I thought you were like dark. Hang on. Like
No, for them to hang on.
Yeah. So this is like their their Hail Mary for them to, like John said, for them to hang on, right? For them to keep the movement alive. And it's kind of our responsibility to support the other companies that are selling frames and selling jigs and all that to keep 80% building alive. Otherwise, like this shit will die. All right. And if this shit goes back to like only people that can, bend flats and but gun building will change back to the Renaissance, and we will lose a lot of new, more modern building opportunities. So we need to keep this alive, right? But then Glock, who seems not to agree with that sentiment, apparently has sued, because the first thing I thought of was, oh my god, like all the Gen 3 patents have expired. Like what in the world could they be suing off of, right?
Yeah,
They're suing for the Glock 43 slide stop.
The slide stop. Yeah, because we talked about that. Because you're like, they can't sue over that. I was like, oh, they can for the slide stop.
It's for the one singular thing. Now, here's the interesting thing. So that's the whatever patent ending in 222, right? Whatever 6 or so patent numbers are first, it's the patent ending in 222. And this is a self-contained slide stop and spring, where when you drop it into the channel, the spring pivots against like a channel that is like built into the frame. So the style is the Gen 5 style. So they're saying that they're claiming losses from the Glock 43, the Glock 43X, and the Glock 48. I don't want to give them ideas, but because this is the Gen 5 style, they could probably sue for all of it, but they're suing for triple damages, because they're like, this has affected us, this has affected distributors and employees and like all this shit. If this goes, and they have a case, they have a solid case.
They actually have a very strong case, because I looked at their patent and I looked at the design. I have one of the polymer 80 43s.
Yeah, I got one too.
And it's I think they got a strong case, which kind of sucks.
Now, if you have one, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect
No, it doesn't affect anyone that owns it.
This is literally affecting.
I mean, the courts could order them to recall all of them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you have to turn them over. I mean, that doesn't affect you at all. That just means, hey, you put out a recall notice, they'll put out a recall notice, and of course, in other countries, like like in Europe, they can make you turn them in, but in the United States, you don't have to comply with a recall notice.
Yeah.
It's a voluntary.
Now, I think it's a little bit of a stretch that they're saying they're claiming damages for the Glock 43, the Glock 43X, and the Glock 48, but I understand it because they're going for like all in, no holds barred, because
Yeah,
those
let
three
me.
models use that same slide stop.
You always ask for more than what you actually want,
Yeah.
and you try to settle for what you want. So that's why they're going for the 43, 43X, and 48.
Out of PED purchases, how can you prove how many would have bought a Glock? That makes no sense. So here's the thing. They could say that because they're not suing for who would have bought a Glock.
It's a civil case too, so it's not really it's not like a criminal burden of proof case.
Yeah, it's more so that their product uses a part that is exclusive to them in their patent, and they're claiming damages on, affecting those three firearms because those three firearms use that specific patented part. They could have even gone on a higher level and said like that design covering these patents or something for all
No,
Gen 5s, but I don't know.
I mean you can hate on Glock and everything, but once they become aware of an infringement, a patent infringement, they have to defend that patent. If they don't defend that patent, then they lose the patent.
Their website only takes you okay, yeah, so Delta Team, sorry, John. Delta Team Tactical is selling frames for,
Yes.
well, Delta Team
They're
Tactical is the company selling frames.
Yeah, they're the distributor. P80 is no longer selling directly to the public. They sell to
Yeah.
Delta Team Tactical. Then Delta Team Tactical is the exclusive distributor of the bridge frame.
Eagle Run 23, what's up, brother? I didn't realize that was your question. The chat was moving, it was refreshing. Out of P80 purchases, how can you prove who would have bought a Glock? That makes no sense. How would you prove damages? Because their
Well,
frame infringes on that part because the pocket actuates their patented part. I don't know. I don't know how they would do that.
it's basically they can look at the cells and what they're gonna say is these are all the potential customers. If this was not available, they would be forced to buy our product. So they're going to claim that every single 43 that Polymer 80 sold would have potentially been a sell. And you got to remember the burden of proof is so much lower in a civil case. And a criminal case, you have to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, right? In a civil
Yeah.
case, that's not the case.
You just have
I
to
mean,
prove some level of damages, right?
you have to prove that there was a chance, So civil
Hang
cases,
on. Keep going. I gotta piss real quick.
yeah. Uh, Civil case is the burden of proof is so much lower, and yeah, you have to remember that Glock has to defend their patent. If they do not defend their patent, they lose the patent. That's why you see a lot of like big companies sue little companies, and you're like, they're never going to get damages, so why are they suing them? They're just going to lose money. And the thing is, they have to, which kind of sucks. Um, but it is what it is. I mean, they could have went to Polymer 80 and licensed it to Polymer 80, and that would have solved everything. But they chose not to do it. They chose to uh, do it this way, to defend it through there. In the end, they can still license it to Polymer 80, even if it's like for like $1 or whatever. But I don't see them doing that. Glock is known for vigorously defending their patents, and they don't license shit. They went after Smith and Wesson when Smith and Wesson came out with the Sigma, which turned into M&P. They what's known as a SWAC, and Glock went after them, and they successfully sued Smith and Wesson for infringing on their patents when Smith and Wesson ripped off the Glock 17. Um, how will Glock know? Well, in court, you have something called discovery. So they're going to demand that P80 turn over all the numbers, and more than likely they will get that in discovery. Um, More than likely, the judge will order that information to be turned over in discovery. So that's how they're going to be able to get that. And Bob pulls up the Hoffman force reset trigger that Rare Breed served the cease and desist on them, and they had to do that because just the way it is, just the way that patent law is written in the United States.
So, Eagle Run 23 says P80 50% off deal ends tonight. Better hurry. I got 2 slides, bro. I'm with you. I got a lot of jigs. I got a great deal of jigs and 19s, 17s. I finally got AR jigs. I had so many people asking me for the Polymer 80 AR jigs for mil-spec lowers that I was like, all right, fine. I don't necessarily think they're the best option, but they're like $30. So here you go. There's Polymer 80 AR jigs. And then because it was a deal, I threw on a bunch of lower parts kits and slides and barrels and stuff like that I'll use for other builds. But also, I am considering getting more. And I don't know. Look, I don't even know if you guys would be interested in this or anybody out there that's like a DLD hardware shopper, but because like I've been moving a lot of product on DLD hardware, like 30 orders a day plus. It's been crazy, and I'm super grateful for that. You guys are awesome. Should I start including parts for sale, like lower parts kits, slides and barrels and stuff like that? I'll obviously never have frames on there, right? But you know, I think we're at
No,
the point now.
I think so.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I mean, I
I
could
mean,
probably put them
if you
up.
can get them at a reasonable price.
Yeah, I'd be able to put them up for like basically the same prices that everyone else is selling them for, like $48 or whatever, right? So people are getting really good quality. Like, guys, these lower parts kits, I have always had like excellent luck with lower parts kits from P80. Every single one, I've got 6 P80s with the Polymer 80 brand lower parts kits in them, and they run like a champ. In my opinion, the best lower parts kits are OEM, hands down, number 1. Shadow Systems, number 2. And I told you guys, a lot of you guys out there already know, but a lot of like 1776 Supply Co's lower parts kits have Shadow Systems parts in them. They're great. And then 3 is P80.
Can I tell you a well, it's not really a parts kit. It's more of a drop-in trigger that's freaking badass.
Sure.
Overwatch Precision.
Yeah, I've heard about them. I never use their products, but
I got a couple of their triggers, man. So freaking like buttery smooth.
Yeah.
Buttery. We'll go out and shoot some. They're buttery smooth, man. You go out and shoot it. You're gonna be like, yeah, these are badass.
Yeah, they just always looked cheesy. Their ads look cheesy. Their triggers look a little, that's why I never got them. But if they're good,
They're expensive, but they're freaking great.
yeah. Eagle Run 23, I'd get parts from you, but I'm only doing nice builds these days. No more $49 barrel. Yeah. So I would say, right, there's some places that you can cut corners on with a build and still have really good quality, good reliability, right? So if you're using, like, let's say a P80 frame and you're using like a really, really good quality, high quality slide, like let's say like a Strike slide, which by the way, I'm working with Strike Industries and I got some Strike products on the way. Hey, I think I'm going to be doing an all jet black striked out build, strike everything on it, right? Let's say you're doing like a Strike slide or like a Norso slide, something like crazy high end and also crazy high end barrel. You can still use like Shadow Systems lower parts and slide parts, or even like a P80 lower parts kit and whatever, and you're still going to have good quality as long as the parts are compatible because you're tolerance stacking. But it just depends, right? I had two PF940C 19 size lowers that were blue titanium. One of them had a polymer 80 lower parts kit in it, and one of them had a Shadow Systems lower parts kit in it. And I put one slide and upper that was like decent quality and one slide and upper that was like crazy high quality, and one just would not work with the P80 parts kit and one would not work with the Shadow Systems. When I swapped them, it literally was like they were meant to be, right? Like it just like a solid snap on the striker, and like the contact was perfect, the trigger pull was perfect, very, very nice, consistent, deliberate trigger pull with a great crisp snap on the striker. And so sometimes the shit's just not compatible with what we're putting in there, so we gotta have the like ability to switch parts and stuff when things don't work, or find out the solution, like what specifically is keeping parts from marrying together to be able to make changes or modifications to things, etc.
You know what barrel I really like? I like blacklist barrels.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
really
good.
do like blacklist barrels.
I got one of their barrels. I got one of their pins. So they make really dope pins.
Yep,
And
yep. On my Glock 17 build, I have blacklist pins.
nice. Yeah. The other thing is I got my first Agency Arms barrel. That shit is sick. I mean, it's crazy. Those are dope. Blacklist is really good, really good quality. But I'm thinking, so every now and then I found a place that just randomly will pop up like a Shadow Systems lower, like one of the gray. They have these like gray and Damascus builds, right? I saw a gray Shadow Systems lower with a shower with the Shadow Systems lower parts kit in it for like $200, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get this. But by the time that I refreshed, it was gone, right? I've seen Shadow Systems complete slides, barrels, upper parts kits and shit like that for sale, and I'm like, damn, like you know just got a Tyrant barrel, anxious to try it. Big fan of Zafiri too. I was a huge fan of Zafiri Precision too until I learned that they gave all of their information out to the ATF. Well, in a the best way to say this would be before they were even subpoenaed, they and a lot of other companies gave out their customers' information so they didn't have to go to court. And that includes Rainier Arms.
Well, yeah. When I broke that,
In August of last year.
yeah, when I broke that, Rainier CEO reached out to me. I guess he wasn't. He was very nice, but I guess he didn't want that information out there. Like, well, I'm not pulling down the video. I'm not pulling down the article.
That may have
It's
been the
staying up.
reason why he did a video on Instagram, which is still like you can find it to this day. All of these companies signing the subpoena, it's all out there. And
Yeah.
Zafiri Precision. So I don't even know how much info I want to give because it's all out there, guys. Look for it. But you're talking about like a company that encompasses like 7 of the biggest companies, and people are like, oh, I'm not going to go to this company, I'm going to use Zafiri Precision. Yeah, that includes them too. Zafiri
Yeah.
Precision, ADP Builder, Rainier Arms, all those guys gave all of their customer information away, which is fucked. And it hurts me just to say real quick, it hurts me to say like F Superior Precision, right? Like, and I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just saying that everyone should be aware of that before they, represent these other companies, because they're like, oh, I'm not going to support this company because I heard like ADP Builder gave all their customer info out, but I'll support like this company, and nobody knows that they did the literal same exact thing in the literal same exact case.
If you go back in August, I listed all of them that gave information over.
Yeah.
And I'm never selling any of my Funko Pops, so I'm not worried about Funko Pop deflation. It's actually better for me because I'll buy more.
Yeah. I had their shit from a while ago, though. Still sad. Yeah, and look, I'm not saying. I mean, Zephyr Precision is obviously not like a, they don't have bad quality. They're not a bad company or anything like that. I'm just saying that they did that. Do with it what
They
you
didn't
will.
want to fight the case, so they just turned it all over.
Yep. MGB loved the Zephyr slides back in the day. Facts. Yeah, man. It's sad. It's unfortunate, and they didn't even lawfully have to. They did it to
No,
avoid.
it was a settlement. It was a
Yeah,
settlement. They're like, hey, we'll drop the case if you turn it over.
yeah.
And what Rainier Arms, the CEO of Rainier Arms, told me was, hey, they probably would have got it in discovery, and the key word there is probably.
Yeah.
And my thing was like, I want the people to know that you gave out the information, not to destroy your company or cost you business, but so people know that their information is out there with New York State or New York City. Actually, it was.
Yeah, that ain't right, man.
But I was
Yeah, it
like,
was New
people
York.
need to know. People need to know that their information is out there. If they
Yeah,
bought something for you, New York has their information. People need to know that. It's not about hurting your company. It's not about some revenge shit. It's about looking out for the American gun
the
owner
gun owner.
because
That's
people
what I'm saying.
because people don't look out for the American gun owner. I'm friends with most people on YouTube, but a lot of the people on YouTube are there for like
For
to
the
make money,
companies.
right? The companies, they don't want to burn a company because, that company will, not give them money or not, or like other companies that are partnered with those companies will,
Or
will,
other
yeah,
people in the 2A community will dog
yeah.
pound on you and,
But
dog
you know
pile on
what?
you.
But you know what? I'll burn down fucking any company that betrays the American gun owner. I don't care who they are. And I think you can attest to that because I burned a lot of big companies. I
Yeah.
burned a lot of bridges because they were doing shady shit. Look at
I've
like
seen
SP Tactical. I burned the shit out of them because they were trying to hide shit.
I've seen companies that John had reached out to, like, hey, I'm looking
Taurus.
for all right, we don't need to call them all out because what I'm about to say, you may not want to call them out.
Okay.
I just don't want you to accidentally say the name and be like, oh shit. So I'll just speak very vaguely and I'll say, let's see, they should have emailed all of their customers with a heads up after being coerced into releasing the customer information. I mean, the thing is that the sad part and the reality is that nowadays they don't even need the companies to get the information.
No, they
They'll
can go
they'll
to
get a warrant.
authorized.net.
Yeah.
So they don't have to get a
Stamp,
warrant. Authorized.net and stamps.com would just turn it over.
yeah,
That's
stamps.com.
what they did with Polymer 80. Polymer 80 refused to turn over their shit. They went to stamps.com and authorized.net and said, hey, can we have that information? And they said, sure, here you go. Now, what were you going to say? I think I got an idea what you were going to say.
I'll come right
Uh,
back to it in 1 second. Eagle Run 23. I'm on the Shadow Systems web now. You just buy these pieces one by one. They don't have an LPK. I've purchased them from there before. I don't know. I mean, they did have individual parts there, but I had purchased like a full lower parts kit, full slide parts kit. They had them as an option on there, but most of the options are individual parts. The other thing, if you just hit up like 1776 Supply Co. on Instagram, and you're like, yo, I heard y'all have Shadow Systems parts in your LPKs. Like, can I buy a couple? Just talk with them, see, see what they'll work something out for you. Tell them DLD sent you. But so okay, so I don't know if they removed at Eagle Run or if they're not selling them anymore, but they do go through waves of selling them and not selling them. So that's a possibility. So okay, so to address what John was saying, and what I was saying earlier is I have seen John reach out to a company for comment and say, "Hey, this happened. This is an issue for the gun owner. The gun owners need to know because if this turns around and the ATF does X, Y, and Z, I understand that you would take some pretty severe losses, but the gun owners are the most important. Like that, they're the ones that like they are the community, right? They will literally go to jail and potentially face 10 years in a federal penitentiary and $250,000 in fines. And they're like, okay, how about this? If you don't write that story, we will literally give you whatever you want. You can order whatever you want. We'll send you guns. We'll send you parts. We'll send you this. We'll send you that. Literally trying to bribe him. And him be like, that's entertaining, but no, thank you. I'm literally an investigative journalist, and you're trying to bribe me with gun parts, dude. And like, well, fine, but if you're not going to take this, then at least know that you're going to do terrible harm to the community. You're going to destroy the gun industry by doing this. And Crump's response was, I am not doing this to protect the gun industry. I'm doing this to protect the gun owner. And I was like,
I got it all on recording too.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That story's still out there. There's, I think I've discussed some of the stuff with you on that.
I don't want it to look like they were bribing you. That's why, because that's not a good look. But it definitely appeared like they were like, well, if we were to give you like a shopping spree here, no charge, would you be willing to not write that story? I mean, basically, would you disagree?
No. I mean that's exactly what they said.
Yeah, maybe not word for word, but I mean,
No,
essentially,
they said, well, if you want, we'll give you one of everything we have.
No, Zev was not part of the release. I could tell you straight up, because it's all public information. You'll see that it was Rainier Arms, ADP Builder, Salvo, and Salvo is basically like 7 companies, and that includes. Thank you guys for all you guys that are ordering on DLD hardware. By the way, I'm seeing these orders come through, and I'm like, hell yes. So thank you all you guys. I love all y'all. And it still feels fake. Dude, Farmer James, you're the man. I love you. So Salvo is like 7 companies, which is Zafiri Precision. It's who else is under Salvo? I can't even think right now.
No. There's 7 companies. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's like 6 more companies that are all under that. Just hopped in to say hello, love you guys. Hell yeah, appreciate you coming in, man. Forbidden Q, we love you too. That's the problem. The big companies aren't going to support the 2A, like what Bill Ruger did in the 90s. Yep, and what Glock is doing to Polymer 80. It smells like Civil War. I don't know.
Look at Springfield Armory.
Yeah, Springfield Armory. Yep. Does an adjustable brace count as an adjustable stock on a non-SBR? If you have a 16-inch barrel on it, then it shouldn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
If you have a 16-inch barrel, it doesn't matter if you stick it on there or not.
I just want to make sure that.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I wasn't giving people bad information.
No, that's written in one of the options.
If I recall correctly, they literally put a 16 or longer inch barrel on it.
Yep.
Okay, so let's hit a couple things before we go, and then I got to crash. But there are, you know what? Let's do this because it's already 12:30. Here's what I'd like to do. I think there's a lot of things that kind of go unnoticed that you do. And I know last time we talked about it, I was like, I'd really like to have you on and kind of do like more of like an expose on, shit that you've done for the community, for, the gun owner. And I think it's important that we focus on that because there's a lot of people that may follow your news channel that don't follow other things, right? Or that follow your news channel or your live channel that don't read Ammo Land News. Or, I mean, you can see every single article that John Crump has written on Ammo Land News. And if you don't follow Ammo Land News, holy shit, like that. And I'm not, I'm not affiliated at all with any of those mofos. I'm just saying that if you want like great information at like, the drop of a hat, it's it's definitely one of the best places that you can subscribe to that has like millions and millions of readers. So what I'd like to do is actually have an episode where I have you come on and we go through and describe situations like that and discuss articles that you've written and discuss things that, came up and just kind of tell stories about shit that you've done to, help the, the community and
Pick a day next week.
Next week, it would have to be Tuesday or Thursday.
Pick a day.
Let's do Tuesday or Thursday.
Okay, I said
you let me know.
Pick a day, motherfucker.
You let me know which one's best for you.
Okay, all right, cool.
If Tuesday's best, then we'll do
Tuesday.
All right, 10 p.m.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I'm gonna put it in here. Put in my calendar. All right, now that would be Jan Crump, and I have some dope ass guests coming up soon. I got Flood Munitions coming on. We're supposed to do a Wild Arms Research and Development with the quad rocket and all that shit. Like that, you want to talk about somebody who's definitely very skilled in that kind of stuff. Yes. Because Crump is the man. Yep. Yes, sir.
I gave the speech in middle of January and did not get any FUD blowback.
Well, hold on. So, on that note, who is that guy that you mentioned?
Jason Mieres.
Okay, Mieres.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you were giving that speech, and there was a guy literally right in front of you holding that banner, okay? And you were like, do any of you guys like Jason Mieres? And the guy literally right in front of you holding the banner for you was like, yeah. You were like, yeah? Well, guess what? You need to go back and see that part of the speech. That shit had me dying. He was like, ooh, like his face was like, yeah. And then you were like, really? Then you dropped like, well, guess what? He was like, ooh, like his face was like he was trying to drop a deuce. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because Jason Mieres ran on being a pro-gun stuff, but he's not doing some pro-gun stuff. I'm going to call him out. I will call out. I don't care if the Republicans. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I called out a bunch of Republicans in that speech. I'm like, everyone here is calling out Democrats. Well, guess what? I'm calling out Republicans.
Yeah, man. I mean, call out anyone who's standing against us, Oh, nice. Slim223 says, we effing love and appreciate the work you do, Crumpy.
Well, thank you.
Obviously, but Crump, I appreciate how you dunk on these fools regardless of who they are. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Just finally lost his case. Default. He just finally lost his case today. Default. I think couldn't get a lawyer they required. Hold on. Hold on. You're saying Indie Guns lost his case by default? Well, yeah.
Dude, I try to get that guy.
I wouldn't even discuss it. Only because it just think about it like this, guys. Everyone is willing to help. Everyone, okay. Well, fuck it. Okay, so back in August, right? Everybody reported on the shit that we're talking about now. Okay. We're talking August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months ago, everybody reported on and totally threw these companies out there. And they were like, you guys suck. You guys literally caved and gave all this private information of all your customers out of fear of maybe you know what I mean? Like, it's total bullshit. It's a settlement, right? So they saved their own hide by throwing the gun builder and the gun owner to the wolves, right? And recently, people, we'll say people, were like, how come no one is reporting on this? How come Garant Thumb isn't talking about this? How come, all these 2A influencers aren't talking about it? Like, dude, we all did. We all reported on this. Crump reported on it. Crump wrote an article on it. Crump did videos
I
on it.
broke it. I'm the one who got the court case.
Yeah, you broke the story on it. And then Guns and Gadgets did a video on it. Mr. Guns and Gear did a video on it. All these people were putting the info out there, but it's a different level. Like when you're invested in a case like that, like think about it like this, guys. All of us love CRS, right? But when we log off this live stream and you guys go back in your comfortable beds, you're not actively thinking about CRS's case, right? Do you think he's thinking about his case? 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he'll tell you that.
Yeah, like it eats away at you. It's a different perspective, right? So people may think that they're doing good, and people may even offer you support and offer you an attorney. And if you don't take the action necessary to make sure that you secure that attorney for your own lawsuit that you're seeking help for, like even for me to be proactive, right? I'm doing the DLD hardware thing. I'm selling jigs. And even though I'm not and don't ever do anything illegal, I know that it is likely that the gay TF or somebody is going to come F with me at some point. I know it. I know it to be true. I'm sure they buy shit from me all the time just to see if I'm like throwing in like illegal shit or whatever. I don't know what they do, right? But that's also why I write F the ATF on every single package I've ever fulfilled in the entire length of time that I've done business. But me being proactive, I went to the GOA, to John, and to some of the other guys there, and I was like,
you went to Eric Pratt.
yeah, him too. But that actually wasn't
we
the
had
first
dinner.
conversation. That
No, you
wasn't
got
the
it with
first.
Aiden, the
Yeah,
director. Aiden, who is the a federal affairs director. You talked to Eric Pratt.
Yep,
You had dinner with Eric Pratt.
yep. I did have dinner with Eric
I mean,
Pratt.
yeah.
Made me feel that's so punk rock dark. I know, right? Well, honestly, the only reason I do it, obviously, it's camaraderie, right? It's like the ATF tried to destroy 80% building, and this is my way of saying, you didn't do it. It didn't work. It's still alive, and I'm handwriting it with a paint marker, F the ATF on every single order, on every single jig, etc. And the reason I'm doing it is for camaraderie between people in the community, but also if these guys, if the ATF goes and purchases my shit, hell yeah, you're gonna open up a jig that says F the ATF on it. Yeah,
Oh,
because you caused this.
and my next troll of the ATF, which is
Oh my
going to
god.
bring the pain. I cannot wait until that drops. When
It
when it drops, okay, I'll give you guys a hint. When you see something about $1,
yeah, that's gonna be pretty serious. If you guys ever see anything having to do with the ATF and $1, it was Crump. It was Crump. But just to finish my thought. So what I was saying is that I knew that there would be a possibility that I would be fucked with for doing what I do, right? So I was like, okay, let me go to the GOA and ask for support in advance. I grabbed Aiden and I was like, hey, he's the federal affairs guy. And I was like, hey, look, this may not be your wheelhouse, but since August, when they separated jigs and frames and all that, I started a company where I'm just selling jigs. Okay. And I just wanted to say, like, I don't do anything illegal. I'll never do anything illegal or sell anything illegal, but you know how the ATF is, right? And they may come and fuck with me and do something at some point. So if that happens, can I count on the GOA for legal support? And he said, dude, you are literally doing the Lord's work. Hell yes.
I mean, we're teaching, we're arranging to teach Thomas Massey how to print Galak frames.
Yeah, yeah. Eagle Run 23, to my knowledge, that doesn't exist. The GST9 recovery tactical brace. I mean, they do have them for the 80% frame for PF9, 40 frames, and also for standard factory Glocks, but I have not seen them for the GST9. But yeah,
I have
so
one.
they're literally setting up yeah, I got one too for the P80. But yeah, they're like setting up time to sit down with Thomas Massey to teach him how to 3D print guns and to teach him why it's important to preserve, all the things they're trying to do.
Thomas Massey knows why. I mean,
Well, yeah,
Thomas Massey. Massey is the most proactive gun person in Congress. He owns like freaking machine guns.
Well, I guess my point is that sometimes, people that are in that, like, operating in that place, right? They're so worried about like our ability to buy those firearms and our ability to just go into a gun shop, do a background check, and get a gun, that like those rights are going to be stripped away, that they fight for those, that one day somebody who may not be aware of how real 3D printed guns are, like of how like important that is for building and developing and all that, and for 80% frames and receivers and all that, they may be willing to, maybe not him, right? But they may be willing to say, okay, you can have 3D printing, you can have building, but you're not going to take our right to go buy them in a gun shop or whatever. You know what I mean? They may see those as disposable aspects of, our natural rights. And I just could not bear to see something like that happen.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about Massey with that.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily him, but
He actually gets a lot of the technology,
the game
and
team.
he's actually built like 80%ers, like
Oh,
P80s
nice.
and stuff like that. So
Hell yeah, that's awesome. All right, well,
multiple P80s.
that's dope. Hell yeah. We'll go ahead and bring it to an end. It's not done yet, but we'll bring it to an end. And I'll remind you guys that if you are building a bridge frame, you cannot build a bridge frame without purchasing one of these. I am the only company that has these single pin jigs. I mean, you can technically drill 3 pins with them, but they're the single pin jigs to be able to. Here, this one's a dope ass one. Look at how like beautiful this fit and finish are. You can't really see too well, but I mean they're perfect. And if you get a bridge frame, which is the new ATF compliant polymer 80, 76%, whatever it's being marketed, it's a bridge frame. All right, that is the terminology for the frame. There's a second locking block pin that you cannot drill without a jig. Some people are putting a drill right up to the little ghost imprint of where the pin used to be drilled. Don't do that. Or they're putting an old frame in half of the clamshell and drilling through their frame, their real frame, to drill a hole in the jig. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't sacrifice your frame to save $25. Please don't do it. Like, just please don't do it. So if you're building a bridge frame, then you would need to go to DLD Hardware and get one of those. The 17s, for anybody out there that ordered a 17, I'm behind. There was a shipment that was supposed to be here literally like mid last week that went totally MIA. It's missing. And I should be able to fulfill those orders soon. So please be patient and I will get those out. And 19s are still in stock and shipping too. So yeah, so be patient. Love all y'all. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Your mom's box.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Better late than never. Mark Tucker, what's up, brother? ATF
That's
is just
ATF and Anthony. I mean, not ATF, Opie and Anthony back in the day.
Opie and Anthony, yeah. Keep up the fight. The anti-gun goofy baby boomers are almost done. Yeah, well, we'll hope.
But, and F. Dettelbach.
Oh, dude, Are there any new crazy breaking things about what's going on with the GATF that you can touch on at all?
I mean, just lawsuits. I mean, they're getting sued freaking everywhere. They're not too much that I can say quite yet. FBI maybe.
Okay, lay it on us. What you got?
Uh, Back in 2019, I uncovered the Nix voluntary indice form where you can add yourself to Nix.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I uncovered, it was in use from 2016 to 2019. Now GOA has uncovered it going back until 2011, and it was being given out in mental hospitals.
What?
Yeah, where they're getting people to sign away their rights, saying, "Hey, I'm not mentally sound to own a gun, but I'm mentally sound to be able to sign my rights away for life."
You can't. You can't. That depending on the state, that is null and void. And did you know, for
Yeah,
everyone out there, did
there's
you
six
know
states. It happened in at least 6 states.
if
I have
you
a
are
video on it.
if you're ever put in a situation where you were forced to sign something and you sign your signature, right? If I put like, dark or whatever, if you put the letters UD after your signature, then you
Under
can
duress.
yes, you can come back and fight it in court and say that you signed it under duress, right? Gun to your head or forced to whatever. If you're forced for whatever reason to sign something, like literally the safety of you, your family, your loved ones, for whatever, you can put the letters, even very small, just make it all flow together, UD, and you can say that you were forced to sign something under duress and you can fight it in court. So just saying for all you guys out there.
Yeah. The setback in Montana with the Second Amendment Protection Act.
Yeah.
There's the Cargill stuff where where the district judge was ordered to enter a judgment for Cargill and issue relief, and he issued judgment for Cargill, but he never issued any relief, which is ridiculous. Now they're gonna have to. I was talking to Michael Cargill the other day. I'm gonna have him on my show, but yeah, he basically called the judge an advocate judge. He is an advocate judge. He's a Hawaiian judge, and very very anti-freedom, anti-gun, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, Hawaii is one of the like worst states when it comes
Yeah,
to freedom.
Cargill's in Texas, but the guy came from Hawaii.
Hmm.
And then there was the 11th Circuit, the challenging Florida's law. That went to that's going to go en banc, so that's going to be vacated pretty soon. But we can talk about that all on Tuesday if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. I would love that.
And there's the Connecticut lawsuits. There's tons going on.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if this just like everything going on right here doesn't tell you guys, stack up on every single thing that you can, right? Like, because not only in addition to all the shit that we're talking about, and I know we kind of just ran our mouths about like stories and stuff from the past tonight, but also in addition to all of this, guys, our world is in Chop, bro. Where you been at, doggy?
Dude, Gorbachev not that wow. Oh,
Dude, I have not
oh,
seen you in so long. I miss you so much, Chop. Please come around
oh.
more. We miss you here.
And there's a North Dakota bill to ban the use of cryptocurrency to buy firearms, which is ridiculous.
That's whack. Why would they even think to do
Yeah,
something like
I
that?
don't know.
See, everybody, dude, Gerchop, people come in here and they literally say your name 3 times, hoping that it like somehow would like summon you or
Yeah,
something. So,
yeah, but yeah, I do it in a mirror.
where you from, homie? Yeah, I do it in the mirror too with the lights off and I spin around 3 times while I say it. I heard if you say bloody Gerchop, bloody Gerchop, bloody Gerchop, then he just shows up with a small cell phone in his beehole. But we miss you, Gertchop, and we really miss having you around. And even when you're not here, when new people come in, we're like, who even is USA? So you're still here in spirit, and we miss you and love you. So good seeing you. I hope you're getting some visitation. I hope your books are stacked up, and yeah, hope you're doing well. So what I was saying is that, like, I hope you guys are taking notice to the things that we're saying, right? And I hope you guys are realizing that, like, we need to stack up to make sure that we have everything that we need, right? And I know it may not be easy for everyone to dump money and shit like that, but like, whether it's firearms or magazines or ammunition or gear or whatever it is, buy once, cry once, man. Get it, because it is highly likely that we're going to live through some type of situation where we lose the availability of items, or they attack these types of things in other ways, right? If they cannot beat us with legislation, they'll beat us in some other way. So we just
But
have to
yeah,
make sure.
we've already seen what they're doing. They're using lawsuits.
Yeah, they're using
Yeah,
lawsuits.
we crashed the Operation Mayhem, where we crashed the what was it? The Brady's How to Sue the Firearms Industry with a bunch of crazy shit. Which my
Yeah,
favorite one was, somebody was like, we gotta ban these guns to save to save the children. Unless we want to get rid of them through abortion, I'm still totally okay with that. Freaking hilarious.
dude, that's ridiculous. It will never stop. Like, we're always going to be in a fight for our natural rights that are supposed to be given to you by God and secured by the Constitution. But we're running into the same situations, right? Like, we're blessed that we're still able to build. We're blessed that we're still able to get frames and jigs. And, people are like, oh man, these frames are $100. Yeah, they are. Get them. Because guess what? One day I sat down and I was like, man, I could have had all these white frames for $99 and I didn't get them. Now they're going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Okay. Do you guys think that this temporary frame, this bridge during this unknown time, is going to be made forever? The answer is no, right? So if they win this case, right, if this injunction goes through, or this, whatever it is, right, then it's a possibility that these bridge frames are going to be worth super duper crazy stupid money in the future too. So
Hashtag not financial advice.
of course not. Never that. Never that. I don't know anything, but I can assume that these things are true, or these things may become true in the future. So just, to prepare yourself. But even, like, dude, just to have frames laying around just in case, right? Just get a 3D printer, get ammo, get gear, get food, right? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have a gas mask? Do you have everything that you need, right? Oh, and speaking of getting stuff, the fat boy here, let me get this thing real quick. Speaking of fat boys, hang on.
They have iodine tablets.
Potassium iodide, yeah.
Yep. Water purification systems.
Several methods of water purification: hard water storage, bottled water storage, there all sorts of shit. Food, water. The other thing is, I know this is aside from what we're discussing right now, kinda, but all in preparation, right? The coolest OTF knife that exists is the Fat Boy from Tack Knives. Okay. So this is probably the coolest utility knife I've ever had. It was sent to me weeks ago. I featured it on, oh snap, Dingle Matt is a channel member now. That's what's up, man. Hell yeah. I guess he got one of the gifted memberships. So this is the Tack Knives box cutter, right? It's an OTF, obviously. It's OTF. This one is a little bit more because it's got the grip tape on it. There's another one that's like rubberized, right? Now, when you use your knives, like, let's say one of these nice, I don't know where my my other OTF is over there, but this one, for an example, if I use this gorgeous, beautiful knife to sit there and cut open cardboard and tape all day, like, that is the biggest enemy of a knife, right? By the way, it's got that snaggletooth on there. Shout out to snaggletooth. They're awesome. It gives you the wave opening feature on it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to use my meat cutting knife, my mofo cutting knife, as my box opener. So this is the coolest utility knife you can get. If you use code DARK, you get 20% off. I'm just saying. I think they may have already sold out though. But if you do get them, I would go for the cheaper one. You can get it for 20% off. And I think they were on sale for like $49. And then you drop 20% off of that. So it's basically $39 for a box cutter. And they include a whole stack of SK5 high carbon blades in there too. So check them out, y'all. This is the coolest OTF knife that I've gotten from Tack Knives, and I've gotten a bunch from them. Love it. So that's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take off.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. I'm gonna close out here in a sec anyway. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming on, man.
guys. No problem. You guys stay safe out there. If you guys need me for anything, just hit me up. Check out my Discord. I have a Discord. I don't have the link though, so I guess you guys can't really check it out.
You can find it somewhere, right? Don't you have it like on your website or on like somewhere?
Yeah, go to any of my videos. It's in there.
Oh yeah, facts. It's in the
Or
description.
or if anybody in the Discord, I know there's several people in the chat right now that's in the Discord. If one of
Yeah.
those guys can drop a link or whatever, that'd be cool. But no
Yeah.
big deal.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
So
Well,
that's
I
the best way to reach
appreciate
me.
you, I appreciate you coming in, and naturally, look forward to our show on Tuesday. And yeah, I'll see you then.
I'll be back in Virginia. I'm going back to Virginia in a couple days. I don't get to stare at the ocean on that plus I'm gonna get like soaking wet. I guess I can just
Cool.
like to sit there inside and stare at the ocean, but whatever.
Hell yeah, man. Well, enjoy your time out there. I'm gonna be with the little one all weekend, but I'll be available after that.
All right, yeah, I won't be back until like Sunday night.
Cool. All right,
All
brother.
right,
Take it easy, man.
see ya.
Later. And for you guys still here, yeah, this is the coolest box cutter. Box cutters are great to have lying around. They are. So I've used this thing already hundreds and hundreds of times. And when the tip of the blade, so when I cut my labels out for DLD hardware, I literally lay them down on the table. It's like one of the plastic Rubbermaid tables, and I cut the label out, right? And I'm cutting on the like polymer table. So it started to kind of wear the tip of the blade out, and it was still cutting, but it wasn't as smooth. So I literally just took this, right? Popped it out like this, boom, 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 and then switched it around to the other side, right? It was just like super simple. Oh, whoops. Super simple as I'm putting it back in wrong. And then click. There you go. And then swoop, swoop. So it's cool as hell. And I don't know if like all razor blades are SK5 high carbon steel, but these are actually marked SK5 high carbon steel, which I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. So even if all of them are dope, but either way, the ones that come with these are, and you get one of the huge plastic like stacks of them. So it's dope as shit. I'm sending you a thermal printer instead of a flashlight. No, I need the cloud killer. I need the cloud killer. I need to put a cloud killer in one of these, and boom, rock that goon beam. I will say though, like in the safe next to my bed, literally, like the gun I would grab. I mean, I have one in my waistband while I sleep, but the gun literally next to my bed in my safe. It's a biometric safe. Put your thumb on there, boom, chunk, and it opens up like that. I grab it. Guess what it is? It is a Glock 17 OEM frame, OEM slide, OEM barrel, OEM parts with a goon beam on it. Now, I have no problem running my, P80s and shit like that. It's just the one that I happen to put in there because it's kind of an ugly frame that's been, it's had a frame reduction and stippling and all the shit on it. So it's kind of like not pretty, but yeah, I know I need the thermal printer, man. I just haven't switched over to it. But now that I'm doing like 30 orders a day, Woo! I probably could use that. So let me know. Maybe we should talk about it so I can John Rice later, man. So I can learn a little bit more about like how is it set up? What is it connected to? Like, do I just click print and then all of the labels come out? Oh my God. Dude, that would change everything. You need to know that my workflow when I'm filling orders for DLD hardware, like I got 30 orders from today, like almost exactly 30 orders, maybe 33, 35. When I get these, I go through and print on my software. I print the packing slip and then the label, right? I stack all of them up and I pull two at a time. Take the label and the packing slip, and then I take a razor. I cut out the packing slip, or I'm sorry, the label, and then I literally tape it to the USPS envelope, and then I take the paper and then I take a marker and I write FVATF on it, and then thanks DLD, and then I grab the product off my. There's a whole wall of P80s over there. There's probably like 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, probably like 120 or so P80 jigs sitting over there. And on the wall stacked up, all like little leaning tower of Pisas, leaning tower of jiggies. And then I load it up, then I seal it up, and then I tape the corners. And like it takes several minutes when you factor in like the printing and then the label and then writing FETF on it. So what I'm going to do, because most companies don't actually stand behind the shit that they say, just that easy. It's amazing. I believe it. Because most companies don't actually stand behind the shit that they say, I am getting some patches made, and the patches are going to be rectangular. They're going to be a white background. It's going to say F, the ATF on it, and it's going to look like it was written in Sharpie. And then below that, it's going to say DLD hardware, and then a little like black and white YouTube symbol, and then DLD After Dark on it. Because I want to put my name on that ish, and I will include them in maybe not every order, but maybe on orders like over $50. And I'll also be able to give them away to people when I go to events and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, like this, you know, companies need to stand behind the shit that we say, right? If we go in and you're on forums and you're on live streams and you're whatever, and you're saying this type of stuff, you better be willing to stand behind it, and you better be willing to put your name and your business on that shit, right? So that's what I'm doing, and I am hoping that the calling card of DLD hardware becomes FTATF. That is my job. That is what I want to send out to the world, and I want everyone out there to excuse me. I want everyone out there to associate those things with my business. So I'm still here. Good. I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad. So, in summation, as we come to closing, I would like all of you to know that as a company, DLD Hardware stands for one thing and one thing only: that the entire general populace will F the ATF. I mean, look, y'all created the industry, okay? The ATF created this industry for jigs. All I did was come in and say, okay, I'll sell them, because people are going to sell them. But at that time, other companies were not going to stop selling frames and parts and slides and barrels and all that stuff just to sell jigs. And there was that whole thing where stuff was weird. So we were like, timing wise, so it's like, all right, I'll do it. I'll be the one that does it. And Kimball, please comment on my saves playlist. That's adorable. I love you, Gertrude. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll take it. I'll be the one that stands up and sells jigs. And then I had no idea how big that it would get, how big it would become, but I'm glad as hell that I'm doing it and that I'm still here. And even though they caused this, the ATF caused this, if they want to come and fuck with me over this, I'm writing F the ATF because you guys did this. You did it to the industry. You did it to the community. And though you just brought us back to where we started anyway, I'm going to throw that middle finger up to you. So enjoy. All right. Anyway, so my belief personally, as a person and as the only representative of DLD hardware, is that every single human being has the right to build modern firearms in the privacy of their own home with zero governmental overreach. And I'll stand behind that my entire life. And that's a hill that I'm willing to die on, hands down. So, in the end, guys, we all know that what we stand for, right? A lot of people are going to lie. They're going to say that we're the new domestic T words and we're the dangerous ones and we're crazy and all this stuff. But you can't really say that when every single show I end with like who we should choose to be, right? And I always tell you that rule number 1 is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody, that's an opportunity to be kind, and you couldn't imagine the impact that you could have on their life just from that brief little interaction. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed. A hand that's open to give is open to receive, right? Be gracious. Be gracious to those in our community. Be gracious to your neighbors, to the community. Be a good neighbor. Be a good family member. Be a good friend. Be a good person, right? Rule number 3, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men and women skilled in violence. Make sure that you are becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. Keep a thing on you. Stay strapped. Always, always, even at your crib. Like, do not let anybody catch you slipping ever. All right? If you don't wear pants in the shower, right? Then you got to have a shower gun. Always be strapped. Sovereign citizen got lit up by 5 cops at once in Utah. Dang. If they knock on your door, invite them in and grape. In all reality, courts and justice system isn't working anymore. No, it hasn't been for a long time. Yeah, go look at them. Tack knives, code dark. You'll get them for like $39, which is a great deal for what it is. I would pay twice that for this. I mean, you can literally swap the blade out on an OTF switchblade. That's fire. So, and it's good for like, look, if you had to, I mean, that much blade slicing through a mofo, yeah. I mean, if you had to, it's still a knife, right? It's not a stabby knife, it's a slicey knife. There's a difference. So, yeah, I find this to be one of the most useful knives I own, and I own dozens and dozens and dozens of knives. I probably own way too many knives. But anyway, this is super, super, like, it's a utilitarian knife, right? It's super, like, useful, like, actually useful. I use it all the time. And plus, when I see something that I can open, like a box or an envelope or a package or something, I'm like, oh, yes! Like, I get so excited. So, yeah, if you pick one up, it does help support the channel if you use code DARK on tack knives, okay? And all that info is in the description as well. And don't forget, he had said they may be out of stock. I don't know if they're out of stock. They may or may not be. I'm not sure. But if they are, I'm going to be ordering probably like, I don't know, 5 of them, maybe 10 of them, depending. If I do that, I'll be using them to give away. So after this video drops on my channel, after it gets posted as a hard video, comment on it. And if you comment, I'm going to be coming back and taking every single comment as an entry. I can literally just go to the comment picker and run it auto runs it and just pops up and it just picks one of the random comments. So I can do that, and I'll be using those for giveaways in the future. They're out of stock. God, Jiminy crickets. Okay, well, next time. They literally dropped yesterday at noon, right? So the fact that they're already out of stock is crazy. Hopefully people use code DARK to save 20% off. But when they're back in stock, I will be purchasing a bunch of them, and I'll be giving them away too. But when they're back in stock, just buy them, man, because the ones that were on sale for $59, $49, one was $69, I think one was $49. $49 less 20% off. I mean, you're literally getting them for like $39. That's a deal. And you get a stack of blades with them too. So out of stock, boo. Dark be knocking people over to open their box for them. Yeah, for real. That's how much I love it. Anyway, look, you know what I love more? I love you guys so much. I could not do any of this without y'all's support. The fact that the channel is doing as well as it is, the fact that DLD hardware is doing as well as it is, I could not be more grateful. I love all you guys. Thank you for the support. And who knows, maybe over the next year, I may get into doing this full time, right? And that'd be dope. But it would only be because of all y'all's support. And and I got some new builds coming up. Yo, wait for these new builds coming up. The Strike Industries build is going to be fire. I got a new Strike Industries build, 17 build, 19 build, 26 build. Oh my god, that's all three, right? An AR build, a very, very special AR build that y'all aren't going to even believe is like a real thing. Like when I saw the caliber, I was like, what? In an AR? Like, what? It didn't even make sense, right? So when you look at this, you're going to be like, that's an AR? How'd you do that? I know. And I may even do it with a printed lower too, but my ender is fucking up still, man. It's such a pain in the ass. Anyway, look, I love y'all so much. Be safe, be dangerous, keep that thing on you. And I'm going to see y'all soon on the dark side of the moon. I love y'all. Bye. Hey, Opie didn't go nowhere. Opie's in Discord. I do miss the fact that he doesn't come in here often, but if you guys choose to tune out and not come into the streams and interact with the community anymore, that's all I can ask for is that you come in and be a part of this, okay? And if you do choose to, then I would love to have you here. I love all y'all. I love Opie, love my Dremel, and love Gerchop. I love all y'all. Y'all know I do. And when people leave, I'm not going to make it all weird and be like, bro, you didn't join my live stream, man. Where you been? That's, none of my business. Would prefer to have you here, but I'm not going to be breathing you if you're not, Nobody is more OG than me on this channel. Oh, y'all all see. So now who's going to be fighting for the #1 spot? I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Oh, and I may have to skip Saturday because I'll be with the little one. We'll see. I may be able to work something out. Love y'all. Peace.
Play.
I will kill every man on this plate.
Sorry, I had to one more time. Later, y'all.